We need a damn 10 commandments. And if you mess up the community, we get your ass. You'd be lucky if the cops got you, if we got you first. We need to clean this up. We shouldn't have pedophiles going through our neighborhood like what happened up in New Jersey. They shouldn't have called the police. That man should have disappeared. We should never see him again. He doesn't deserve the grub that they'll serve in the jail. We need to let people know we're tired of this. You can't rape and prey on black women. We're tired of it. We're going to solve it. You don't beat your woman out in public. In fact, don't beat her behind doors. Why not leave?
Come
You
on,
have a
talk.
side piece. Be with the damn side piece. Leave the other person alone. And if it's cheaper to keep her, then keep her without knocking her the hell out.
Right. Come on.
Okay? Your penis is for procreation and for marital bliss. It's not your GPS.
Mm.
It's time for us to get real about this. And if we men raise our standards, the women will be forced to raise theirs. And if they don't, we don't have to marry them. There's no law that says you have to marry a woman that won't respect you, where, you've had enough DNA tests to be Johns Hopkins because you don't know which kid is yours. They all look like Fu Manchu and
Mm.
Charlie Chan. And they're,
Mm.
oh, he's yours. Hell, he's mine. If we picked ourselves up, when you're standing up, it's harder for anybody, even a no good liar, pork chop feminist, child support grifting liar, can't ride your back if you're standing tall. It's time to wake up. And it's time for us to be in the lives of our children. It's also time for black men to rebel against the bullshit in the child and family court system, family law, child and family services. We black men need to shut these people down, stealing our kids out of our homes.
Right.
We need to, instead of saying, man, you know what she did to me? I'd rather go to jail than pay that. So their brothers going to jail because they don't like the decision of the court, but we don't go and run to be judges or run the little racist ass judges that see every black family as a blockbusting opportunity. How do we let these racist, nasty, crusty judges in places like Prince George's County bust up every black family that they see? We black men need to stop acting like we don't need each other. And I always ask the question, what's the largest multi city annual gathering event of black men in the country? And no one's, it's Black Gay Pride Week.
Mm.
You mean people who suck dicks and eat doo doo and swallow
Pause.
semen
Pause.
have an agenda and a supposedly straight pussy loving family having black man is less capable of getting together with another straight black man to save his own race than a person that sucks dicks? What a sad story that says about us.
Mm. Well, you know what, brother Short? Let me go to brother. Guess who's in, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the world.
Yes, indeed, brother Juan J. Johnson. Are you in the building, sir?
I am in the house, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, brother Juan, we are discussing the Patriarch Summit along with many other things, but the Patriarch Summit right now. Ladies and gentlemen, if you aren't familiar with our brother Juan J. Johnson, Lone Wolf Firearms, he will, along with my other brother Bear Arms, will be covering the 2A protections and firearms portion at the Patriarch Summit. Okay. Now, brother Juan J. Johnson, his service is very expensive, but this knowledge this brother is going to be giving y'all on GP, to be clear, is invaluable.
That's
Okay.
right. He's giving us information that white men get. Brother Juan treats you just like you're some white survivalist or in the militia. You're getting the stuff. You're getting the white terror information. I mean, from a black person that's not trying to hurt anybody.
Right.
This is information that the Adam Waffen and all these other crazy people that are planning to wipe us out. He's got the whole playbook of all the racists that want to destroy us. Don't you want to know the secrets? Or do you want to end up like the victims in the Turner Diary on the day of the rope?
Mm,
See, we
come on.
can circumvent that. You know, it says prevention is better than a pound of cure, right? Your prevention is being armed
Right.
versus getting medical care after you've been shot or beaten or your home invaded. I mean, for me, it's just ass stupid for anybody black that doesn't believe in the Second Amendment. You're some kind of traitor to your community.
Mm.
Okay, that's how I feel.
Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir, you got the floor, sir.
First,
Uh, yeah, you got it, sir.
first, it's good to be out here on this 20th day of June. I'm going to put some respect on my mother, her birthday. Rest in peace. She was born on this day, so I had to give my mom some salutes.
Salute to Brother Juan J. Johnson's mom, ladies and gentlemen.
Juanita Williams. And
Right.
so
Yes.
just want to put some respect on her. But also, it's good to be back with the summit with the brothers again after that long week of reparations and our fellowship on that Sunday at that prestigious black-owned restaurant.
Right.
Hopefully, we'll use again. And just good to see the brothers. As far as 8/24/24, I'm encouraging everybody. If you ain't doing something, be there. And if you're doing something, take a vacation date. It's just that important. Look, the time out for begging folks to do what they need to do is over. You
Come
need
on.
to be serious about yourselves, serious about your protection, your family, your friends, your communities, your neighborhoods, and maybe this nation. Yes, me and brother, what's that brother name again? The brother,
Brother Bear Arms.
brother Bear Arms. We will be doing a workshop on responsible gun ownership. You're going to leave that function. You're going to leave that summit with some principles, objectives that you can do the same day.
Come on. Come
It's
on.
not just talking. The time for talking is over. We're going to give you something that you can use that same day. We're going to go over the gun piece. Put stuff in your hand that you can take with you and read. Ride it back home on the subway, on the plane, on the
Come on.
train.
Come on.
Okay? Giving you some tangibles that you can take with you, that you can apply the same day. Okay? I'm looking forward to the meeting, seeing your faces in that space, and just making this a annual, if not a quarterly thing. We need it, it's just that serious. We need you guys to be serious about the patriarchy. The number one threat to the patriarchy right now is that feminism. Feminism is the greatest threat.
Come on.
Okay?
Amen.
The greatest threat. And here it is. This is what I don't like about feminism in a nutshell. It's selfish.
Come on.
It will watch this whole nation go down the drain, right? And then apologize.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
It's not about equality. Man, it's I can't find words.
Mm.
But we need you there on 8/24/24. Come in there, come ready to take some notes, bring your pad and your paper, bring your laptops, your iPads, and know
Right.
that you're going to be empowered. You're going to be informed. You're going to be educated. You're going to be entertained, but you're going to have some tools you can take back home that you can apply that same day for the rest of your life, forever.
That's right.
Okay?
Right. You
I
know,
mean,
and I
go ahead.
salute to our brother Juan J. Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Juan J. Johnson, Lone Wolf Firearms, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share something just so we have a full understanding of how serious things need to be taken, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Let's be clear about this. I don't know how many of y'all are familiar with this Venturus thing, but they have one of the guys. This guy is a conciliar officer for the U.S. United States Department, y'all. And he getting game. This dude knows he's coming out and admitting personally that this great replacement theory thing, cats, is it's not a theory, it's real. And the United States government is putting millions behind getting you up out the way. So when you talk about protecting your family, right? you definitely need to come to the summit, okay? Because this kind of game that y'all gonna get from there, you'll definitely be able to protect something that's inevitably coming down the pipeline. Let's play this. Fair use.
But mostly with immigration. I wish people knew that we're letting in criminals daily.
The big issue for the hill for our region is migration. So we poured a lot of money into Central America. Like how much? 4 billion over 4 years. But now migrants are coming from elsewhere, like Venezuela.
Somos de nacionalidad venezolana. Tenemos vuelo para Nueva York.
Entonces, ¿compraste un vuelo con Spirit?
Sí.
40.
Sí, entramos con la cita de CBP One por el puente fronterizo.
So what is the end goal? Why are they allowing it? They want to change the demographics of the United States.
So our aid goes to female prisons in Mexico. Some of that, yeah.
I know it's a little fast, ladies and gentlemen, but the interviewer asked this person, what's the goal here? And the dude said straight out like this. Now, again, United States, he's the United States Department here. He said the goal is to change the demographics of the United States, aka get niggas up out the way. Okay? And they're getting financed. They're getting all the way to the bank. And let's be very clear, in a little less than 10 years, these same folks, right? Everybody that's coming over here getting all these giveaways. My family came here with nothing and worked hard. Huh? Just like all the other folks who give you the guilt trip talking about some pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, they got giveaways. Huh? Homestead? Brother Short, give me some acts. Give me some giveaways that they got, sir.
Chef, a lot of these people are involved in sex work, so they're pulling themselves up by their booty straps. Okay. They're here, right here on New York Avenue, selling ass, selling kids, with the city subsidizing it. Okay, so bootstraps, hell, booty straps.
Tamales. Let's play a little bit more, y'all. Try your hardest to hear it because it is going fast. But yeah, you know, it's not an illusion anymore, ladies and gentlemen. All these people coming over here and nobody has any response for it, even from your Republican side. You better believe that all these folks is on the same type of time.
Brother Chef.
Yes, sir.
I think the illusion is black people are like Walking Dead. That's the illusion. I've never seen a group of people who want to practice black group sex suicide like black people. I've never seen like no other group of people who practice black group economic suicide. And it's hard for them to believe that there are people who do not love them, who cannot stand them, who cannot stand us.
Right.
I mean, because they've been pushed this love your enemy, pray for them to use you, bless them.
Hold it. Juan.
Yes.
Let's just talk about nigger preachers, one of my favorite subjects. If nigger preachers practice so much love, why there's so many fucking different black church denominations? Why? Because the nigger preachers don't like each other. And they break off. They've got more division than cell mitosis and meiosis. All these different sorts of Methodists and Baptists, it's bullshit. They don't love the next Negro with the congregation, and yet they tell you to love the Ku Klux Klan, the Nazis, MS-13. They don't mean that. The reason that these preachers are saying this is that they get money from the cities, city governments to help kill us, the same way they got money with COVID. Anybody telling you to love everybody and not telling you to love yourself, ain't talking to you about doing something for yourself, ain't complaining about homelessness or gentrification, is an enemy. Most Negro preachers are white boys that can hoop.
Oreo.
Sell out yourself. Trust white people. White people love you. White people gonna take care of each other. Oh, white people so good to us. They let us pick their cotton. Why'd we stop? But I'm gonna tell you something. They're gonna bring up some other people to make our burdens light. We're gonna have black and brown unity. Yeah. And they talk this bullshit. I mean, I'm telling you, you'll never hear black preachers tell the truth until they don't have gas to put into their big ass cars, till they can't pay for the chillers in their church, till they can't pay the electric bill on their ghetto cathedrals, as long as we subsidize these liars.
Right.
I mean, one of the things we talk about, Pat Talk, is if you need God, have him in your damn home. You don't need to go down the street and watch some idiot with a pack of hot dogs, hog meat on the back of his neck, sweat salt into his clothes on Sunday. You need to have a God in your home. You need to have some holiness in your home, because you're not going to find it in a building full of folks who couldn't make the freak off because they were too ugly on Saturday, so they went to church Sunday morning. A lot of folks that can't get nobody to be laid up with or going to church, asking for God to help them for people to not see how ugly they are so they can lay down with them. I mean, the church has become a brothel of self-hatred and black degeneracy and black self-destruction and black suicide. I didn't say God. I didn't say the Bible. I didn't say faith in God. I'm talking about these fake liars, the take dicks, jigs type preachers. And even I told my mother last year, this Tony Evans, he's fake. He's fake. He's fake. He's fake. He's fake. I told him last year, and then I had to say, Mom, did you see the story of Tony Evans? Told you that nigga was off.
Come on.
I mean, in fact, did I tell you, Chef? I did tell you. I went off on Tony Evans 49 years ago. When Tony Evans saw me last year, the year before, on a Zoom call, his whole composure changed. He remembered when I went off on him back in 1975. I called him fake 49 years ago. I've had to wait all this time for the shit I said to come true. His ass stepped down. These folks are predators. They're businessmen. They're liars. They're grifters. You know, they're going to teach some truth and tell some truth, but Trump tells the truth sometimes. Biden can't remember what the truth is. There are a lot of people that tell the truth some of the time. We're looking for people that tell the truth all the time, even if it hurts. If they're not prophetic, they're not with it. I'm just trying to tell you, a condom doesn't look like a colander or a strainer. A preacher that lets all the shit go by ain't a preacher. They're a hustler. They're a religious race pimp, and sometimes a sodomite on the side, and a pedophile too, and a home wrecker, and a tithe grifter. And these same people are saying get along with everybody. And I'll tell you, it's because these Negro preachers like the late Fred Price were trying to get to preach in the big white churches. And try, man, ooh, look, I'm with Billy Graham, and the folk are calling him nigga, and he didn't mean that. God hasn't worked that. Shoot, he should have had his teeth on the floor. The biggest traitors that we have, and a lot of those people in the preachers, they're all Greek letter and they're Masonic. Let me tell you something. On June 4th, when I was at the Prince Hall Mason Temple, I had a chance to watch Black Masons grovel over the superior white Masons. I couldn't film it, but I saw it. It's a lie that Black Masons are for Black power and Black independence. They are all under the white lodges. It's a lie. In reality, everybody that you've been told is telling us to get under white folk, to get on our knees, to crawl on our chins. And as Biden said, y'all going to have to get behind the Hispanics. Look at how that jack-o'-lantern, Pumpkinhead, Sleepy Hollow, Roland Martin, and others are still pushing Biden because money's being given to the Greek letter organizations and the Masons. to keep us from demanding reparations and justice and freedom. There are Black people, the top 15%, that are an open genocidal conspiracy against the rest of us.
Come on.
And until we come down and look at little ugly Maxine Waters, now that this white man's talking about cutting her head off, she's afraid. But when Black people were being burnt out of the district that used to be Black when she was in it, she wasn't involved. Black folks who weren't threatened, but actually were being attacked and killed by Latin gangsters because Maxine Waters is she's basically an acolyte of the Mexican mafia.
Come on.
Now that her life is being threatened, now she's scared. That white dude got sentenced and they didn't even really come out all after. She's scared. In fact, she's scared enough to put on a more humble wig when she's in court so people could tell it wasn't James Brown trying to do a revival concert. This is the kind of stuff that we're dealing with. Let me land my plane for a second.
No doubt. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, salute to brother Drip in the building. Drip show. Salute to Drip, y'all. Go ahead over to Drip and subscribe to Drip. He got some good programming over there. Solid brother tapping in. Let me see who else is up in here real quick. Salute to Deceptively Unique. That's an interesting name. And salute to you. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, listen, we are in a very interesting time, y'all. You got, again, keep in mind, these folks will be saying that they came here and worked hard for everything they got. Right?
Pouring is hard work, Chef C.
Flat backing is hard work.
Yes, yes.
Indeed.
Remember the song by Donna Summer? She works hard for the money. I mean, it's hard work. So they're probably gonna get disability this shit for lower back pain. I mean, watch, there's gonna be all kinds of exceptions for them. If you came into the country legally between 2021 and 2030 and suffer from lower back pain, you are entitled to 90% disability. They're gonna take care of them as long as we're displaced. And I have to keep saying, all of the so-called Black civil rights organizations like the NAACP, the National Association for Confused People, or National Asshole Network, or Urban Greed, and all the churches. And by the way, did you know the Black fraternities and sororities are all in relationship with these illegals and La Raza? Did you know that? Which means that even when you are a Greek Black person, you're against Black people. You may not, but your leadership is. So you may not want to drink the Kool-Aid, but damn it, you're in Jim Jones's church. You're drinking it anyway. So it's time for people to grow up. All of these dumbass social groups that Black people join because, we didn't come up. I hate to hear this. We didn't have much coming up. So I'm justified to be an asshole and being stupid shit because I was poor. I'm so fucking tired of I was Black and poor. Most of the world's poor, you idiots. That you have the right to be in dumb stuff. It's despicable.
Well, let me play some more of this, ladies and gentlemen. Peep this. Keep your ears open. And just to be very clear, this man works for the United States government. Country coordinator for the State Department, y'all.
Well, Biden. And hold on, let's just say this. Who's Mayorkas, head of Homeland Security? I'm going to tell y'all he's Jewish. You need to look up his career. This guy, they're part of making certain that people can come into the country. It is a coalition of the Roman Catholics, coalition of certain Jewish groups, coalition of other folks who hate Black people doing this. All of them together. I'm calling names. And as they do one thing, who is this guy? Bloom, who everything Black gets attacked by this same person. You know what? If people emphasize he was Jewish, people wouldn't push so hard. Who's the person pushed the stuff in the Supreme Court to attack Black women getting money for businesses? Mr. Miller, he's Jewish. In fact, you don't hear anything from the CBC. You don't hear anything from the Greeks. You don't hear anything from the Masons. You don't hear anything from the goddamn Boule. You don't hear because they're laid up with these people. They're paid on either one way or the other. We who are not paid must hold in particular and punish and purge the wealthy black people who want us all to die off. And they think that if they just get the broke ones of us, they won't get them too. A lot of folks haven't studied the Holocaust. A lot of rich Jews got gassed. They thought that just selling out the broke Jews, it wouldn't happen to them. We have too much goddamn individualism among black people, not enough collectivism that what happens to the next person is likely to happen to me if it's a system, and there is a system and a pattern.
But Doc, watch this. This patriarch conversation is important because we've been betrayed by the patriarch.
Come on.
It's the patriarch, the black patriarch, if you want to take
these old Negroes.
Yes, they are the ones who not just betrayed us, but they continue to betray us. And this is why I say unapologetically that we have to walk over these carcasses. All of them. All of them. And don't look back, even at the cries for help.
Well, look, it's too late for some people to be helped. You have to, what is it called? SYOA. Save your own ass.
Save your own ass. You have to, man, I cannot put them, look here.
Save your own ass.
We can't love them more than the love they have for themselves.
That's right. And so certain people aren't going to make it.
No.
I always tell the story that I wanted to meet my family. I'm going to repeat it. And my dad says, "Oh, sure, you can meet your family from Georgia." It's like, wow, I'm going to meet some other people. And when I got there, they asked me, "You ever gone to jail?" It's like, no. I could see they were getting angry. They asked, even though my father's a preacher with this Roman collar, they asked a roundabout way, "Do you do drugs?" And I told them, "No." "Do you drink?" "No." And each time I just know they're getting angry and angrier and angrier. You would think I did something wrong.
You did.
Well, what school did you go to? And I answered it the wrong way. I says, I graduated from a high school, McKinley. Well, I said I graduated. I could see the more and more anger. And then they asked, "Well, you have kids?" Since I'm not married. They got up and walked off. They haven't talked to me yet. It's been 25 years. They've never. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't on drugs. I didn't have bastards. I hadn't gone to jail. I went to school. I wasn't in trouble, and they wanted nothing to do with me. I would suspect, brother Juan, that a significant number of those family members of mine have died in the period of time, but they had just no value for me or anyone like me. There's no interest. And I have other family. They don't talk to you. Because you're not getting high. I mean, they can't see anything other than if you're not on a self-destructive path, they can't relate to you. So you may meet some of my cousins and they'll tell you, "I want to be white. I hate black people. I'm never in the community." And it just said, "Oh, wait, who are you?" And they'll get angry if you try to say, "Hey, wait a minute, but I know Randy." Oh, no. It's, and they'll tell you, "Oh, he went to Harvard and he changed." And they're comfortable. So, and information and facts for this kind of people means nothing. It's like you were saying earlier, Chef C, it's only feelings. I'm sorry, Twizzle. Feelings, emotions. Nothing else matters. Those people can't be saved. I was on the phone. I was a little late getting to y'all. I was talking to this phenomenal sister in Chicago. We're looking at what we can do to do what we can to empower blacks in Chicago, working hard. I'll talk to you offline, Brother Juan and Chef C. And I met this dude who said he was doing something to get rid of the mayor of Chicago. Okay. And I thought, well, he says, oh, it's very, very hard, blah, 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 blah. So I says, well, look, I'm going to send you. In fact, I did it when I was with you on Sunday, when we had our Patriarch meal together. I sent him the name of 5 very key people that do community work in Chicago with an introduction so they could talk. And I told him, you need to contact these people. I'm going to give you their names and information and tell them that I sent you. He wrote me, and I told him you should write them, let them know who you are. And I introduced him, and 2 of the 5 people wrote him. The sister I was speaking to said, you know, who is this guy you want us to meet? He's not communicating. So I wrote him and I said, you know, the failure to get things done has a lot to do with communication. If you don't want to communicate, then what you're working on is doomed to fail. They wrote me in turn and says, man, I was under the assumption that you were going to have someone call me, which is a lie. In reality, they're scamming in some way. And they got caught because my sincerity to get them real people, they don't want to deal with real people because they'll get busted in their game. So we have people out here talking about they want to do something, and in reality, when you put them around real people, they disappear, or in fact, they'll come back and blame you that tried to help them for not doing enough, when in reality, you need to wipe your own ass if you don't want to stink. The one good thing about getting a colonoscopy, now that I've gotten one, is you may have a sodomite open your ass up when you're asleep, but nobody likes to smell your open ass, not even them. They quit trying to get the hell out of there, okay? Nobody likes smelling your ass. This is why we need to handle our own business. And people who lie and fake and scam, we're coming into a period now where everybody's being exposed. And not only are they being exposed, as for me, I have no problem having nothing to do with people. If you show me that you don't have character, as one person told me, they tried to say to me, well, in so many words, I have to have protracted conversations with people that don't choose to get it. That's not very Christ-like. That's not very Christian. And I told him, oh, contrary, it's very Christian. Jesus said, shake the dust off your feet. Consider the dust shook. In other words, Jesus is saying, learn how to walk over the cadavers, like Juan's saying. People that don't get it, that don't want it, that can't be saved, won't join the movement, won't participate, gotta sell out, gotta be a coon, gotta be a degenerate, gotta be a predator, gotta be a pedophile, gotta be a hoe, gotta be a feminist, gotta be a fagonist, gotta be a coon, gotta be a niggering, gotta be a blackneck. Well, then damn it then. Gotta be a bastard maker, gotta be a child support grifter, gotta be a freak-off freak, gotta be a divorce court freak, gotta be give your money to every other community freak, then your ass dies. And you know what? We'll be better if your ass isn't here. Get out of our way.
Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, let me play the rest of this track for everybody. Listen here, family. Let's stay right where we need to see with this. The real Negroes are here, are coming. First and foremost, balls. The real Negroes are coming.
Yeah, to help train them up.
I'm working with gender issues in Pakistan, so we're trying to recruit, retain, and advance more women in law enforcement. The question becomes, should we be spending U.S. taxpayers' money in our country on this issue? Women that they don't seem to care about.
Secretary Blinken, how close are you to him?
5 degrees separation. This is such a niche industry that flies under the radar that the average American does not know. Most people don't know what we do.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much to you, Ranking Member Risch, all the members of the committee, and thank you for the opportunity to testify today.
Yes, briefing's coming up in 2 weeks.
He has briefings?
Yeah, on the Hill.
About
the FY 2025 budget request. And that's like with all the congressional people. Big issue for the Hill, for our region, is migration.
Oh my.
Stop migration. What are we doing to stop migration?
He's not accountable for that, is he?
Yeah, we do stuff for it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
It's called the root causes strategy.
Ooh, how?
It's giving money to support and help people at where the origins of the migrants are, so they feel like they can stay there instead of migrating out. So it's Central America, basically.
It's what?
It's basically Central America, like support and development.
Oh.
So we poured a lot of money into Central America.
Let that percolate for a second. Your tax paper, ladies and gentlemen, your money.
And it's definitely Black people's money, because we pay taxes and don't see any improvement. Taxes is basically a fraud against Black Americans. We pay in and we don't get. And these bitches run around and talk about how we're tax receivers. No, we've been ripped off for taxes for 150 plus years.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is highway robbery. But you know what? Listen, a good amount of us sit there and just take the shit. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so let's play a little bit more of this though. This is what's happening right in front of us.
Like how much?
$4 billion over 4 years.
Oh, it's like a lot of money for those places.
That's a lot of money.
Is it doing anything?
I think for them, yes, but now migrants are coming from elsewhere,
Right.
like Venezuela. So we're like, oh, this didn't solve that problem.
Oh, no. So what does he say to that? That looks bad for the administration, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, it looks bad for any administration because no one solves migration. It's like,
Let me say this, family. Let me say. Hold on. Is Twiz? Is you in the building? Because Twiz in
He's
Cali.
in California. He's
California.
facing this stuff harder than
God
anybody.
damn. Twiz, talk to me about this, family. How does hitting home for you, family? Come on.
It's destroying up here. You heard what he said. No one self-migrate. So what that means, they're getting the incentive to come here. And not only that, who's been doing all the so-called crime lately to these little white girls? People from Central America, Venezuela, Panama, all around there. So it's kind of like they're telling on themselves. And like Brother Juan J. Johnson, a military man and a man who's very fluent with military tactics, you can see this coming. You know what I mean? It's like we got the high ground and we can see the play that they're playing. This really is the great replacement. But I'm gonna say like this: what got my eyebrows rose and what got me standing up as attention is what's next for Black people. You know what I'm saying? Because here they're bringing all these immigrants over here. They have to house them, they have to feed them, and they have to employ them. You know what I'm saying? And up here, it's hella Black people losing their jobs and their homes. So basically, what's next? You know, everybody is getting attention. Everybody's really now starting to pay attention to what San Francisco did when they elected the board of supervisors. She got elected to the head of elections. She's in charge of all the elections in San Francisco. So whoever get elected, she has to approve it. Now everybody's getting brought to the attention that one, she's not American born. Two, she don't speak English. And three, she's an employee of Pink. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody's starting to raise fuss at that. And as you see on my page I posted earlier, they're going after the city of Oakland mayor right now. Her name is Jean Chow, a Vietnamese mayor. And the only thing she's been doing, she's been going on a fucking tour. She's been to Vietnam more than she's been in her fucking office out here in the mayor. You know what I'm saying? So it's some major changes. It's some major changes that's going on right now with this immigration and what they're doing with Black America right now. And it's kind of worrisome. It's kind of worrisome because as a wise man always told me, God bless the child that has his own, because as long as you have your own, you don't have nothing to worry about. But I worry about the people who don't have their own. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? What's next for
well,
them? You know?
well, but brother, I think I'm in agreement with you 100%, brother Twizzle. I actually think, let me say this of black people. We got a serious problem of ingratitude. Have you ever noticed how you can do something for someone black and them not say thank you? Almost curse you as you've done good for them? There's an attitude of ingratitude, ingrates, and that extends to everything. There, in fact, it comes out of God hatred. You hate being black, you hate being poor, you hate everything, and therefore nothing matters. And people thought that you could be a second-class citizen in the wealthiest country in the world, and there's nobody that would want to be in your shoes because you hate being black so much, you hate what you have so much, you're miserable about everything, and while you're sitting around shooting dope, drinking, being miserable, not coming together, other people think about how they can get in your space. These migrants, as unpleasant as they are a blessing to some of our bottom-feeding black folk who you can't get to vote, who you can't talk to, who have to try every new drug that comes out, just any kind of order they say no to because they've been black and held down. And now they're finally seeing, because I've seen people, I come from the helping side of black society. Preachers, nurses, but people trying to pull niggas up, and a lot of folks are like hogs. They like being in mud and shit. And if you're not careful with the dirty, shitty pig, it will pull you in the mud. A hog will knock you in the mud with it. A certain type of black person that won't be touched. And I'll give an example. I used to, and to show you, I mean, my mother used to pick up black junkies and black winos in their own shit, piss, and vomit, wash them, sober them up, dry them, clean them, put them in new clothes. And some of them would go right back and shit and vomit and piss all over themselves. Because, and so I'm sorry, we got to deal with sin, Satanism, Luciferianism, defeatism among black folks who will not be saved, get people off of dope, and they run back to the dope game.
Come on.
Oh, yes, they will. Some. And we spend too much time saying racism and justice, which all is true. We've allowed that to blind us to the fact that some people fuck up, so they're going to be that way no matter what we do.
1 second, brother Short. 1 second.
Scared to death Negroes.
Go ahead, brother Short. You got the floor.
People that will not do better, will not allow. And those people will be eaten by the migrants.
Come on.
In fact, it's time for there to be, because racism doesn't scare about nothing, makes them wake up.
Right.
These are the kind of girls that take the celebratory pictures of getting the abortion. Just nothing that gets to their brains. The scripture says, he being often reproved, or those that are often warned, those that are being corrected time and time and time again, harden their heart and stiffen their neck, will be cut off suddenly without a remedy. In other words, I know people, I've seen folks warn, try to change, beg for people to be different, and they've been rebellious.
Come on.
They will be destroyed, says the scripture. I don't care what color they are. How dare you? As limited as our resources are, if someone reaches into the gutter to try to help you, and your attitude is, I want to stay in the gutter, you can't do anything. I experienced this as a teacher. people who didn't want to learn. They were in school to fuck and get high. I'm not saying that rich, white, entitled, middle class don't do it, but they're white. It's a whole different status. For the black folks to act like we can slum and whore and drug and do suicidal stuff and not be hurt more than the people who've got trust funds and don't face medical apartheid and they get breaks and they get drug court, to think that people could be like this and not pay a consequence and talk about being black 1 second, but act as if history and injustice isn't waiting to put you in jail, to destroy you, to take your organs, to ruin your life, to give you a crazy sentence that you can never regain your life. Some people know better. They've seen their friends and cousins go to jail and not be able to vote or do anything. And then you run and do the same thing. You see gangbanging, you see the shooting, you see the drugs, and you stay. That's because some of our people have unregenerate, depraved, amoral, immoral, degenerate behavior that does not want a savior. I didn't say all. Many people want, and that's why I talked about the no good preachers that will not tell the truth, the people who will not rescue the perishing. I'm on them, and I'm also on the perishing. If you don't want better, then you won't get better.
Come on.
I'm going to tell you one more story. Up the block above my block, there's a guy named Geraldo. I think Geraldo's in his 30s or 40s. Geraldo and his friends, I guess on the weekend, smoke weed all weekend long. The sad thing is, maybe 20, 30 years ago, when Geraldo was young, Geraldo and another friend, as an older black, followed me home, got my briefcase, came to my house. And I didn't want any problems. I'm not a predator. I don't want to hurt anybody's children. First thing I did is says, before you can come in my house, I need to meet your parents, introduce myself so they know who I am. They can come meet my family because I don't want no mess. I went up to meet Geraldo's mom, pork chop feminist guys. Said, my name is, I live here, my mother and father here, blah. Your son and his friend followed me home. I did not want them in my house, not because they're bad, but I didn't know you. You should know where your children are. And before I'll deal with your children anymore, if it's okay with you, your children can visit my house. If it's not okay with you, please forgive me. I did not choose them. They chose me. I wasn't there, but I could see this woman rolling her eyes. She's overweight, black woman, heat-treated hair. And I think she told them, stay away from me. I was bad. Maybe I'm a predator. I mean, predators don't come to your house and introduce themselves to you. But you know what? Facts don't matter to pork chop feminists or fagonists. So Geraldo had a chance to have me as at least maybe a community older brother or mentor. But the mother, who's now dead, told her this, I'm no good. Don't deal with him. Now they're gangbanging. A couple of them got shot like 2 years ago. Someone came and shot 8 people, like a block from my house. One dead. And they just smoked dope and their lives were wasted. I think had I even had a little bit of time to talk to them, maybe I could have made an impact. There was another kid on the other corner. This kid followed me home. I love kids, but I stay away from people's kids because folks lie. So the kid came over. I showed this kid a video about drugs and gangs. Their father, who looked like a gangbanger, came and got their son, and I had the front door open so you could see what was going on in the house. Okay. And he didn't want that child around me. They've since disappeared. But I have a lot of these stories where the kids reached out and the parents were fucked up people and they wanted their kids to be fucked up. And anybody that could help their children, I'm just saying to you, A lot of black women and a lot of black men destroy their children. I've watched it. And they do, and so once the kids are a certain age, the parents raise them wild. It's, I don't know, unless the hand of God touches them, they're gone. Sometimes it's intergenerational. It's sad. I've got a family 4 generations deep of junkies. We're right here. My parents worked in drug. If they wanted better, it was here. They've elected to be junkies. They've elected to be weed heads. They've elected. There are other people. There are ways how you could get out. We have to understand that a lot of our people have made peace with sin and shame. And those people, I don't want to be bothered with. I don't care if they're my blood. Not because they're my blood, but because you don't want to do shit. Okay. And there's certain type of people, they can only get along with you if you're smoking phencyclidine, angel dust, or love boat. If you're not taking this drug that makes you run around naked and all, then they can't relate to you. To hell with them. I mean that. I mean, you can't win over people who are comfortable with slow genocide as long as it feels good going down, whether it's drinking cough syrup or drinking whatever or smoking whatever, shooting up whatever. Man, fentanyl, man, that's hype. I can take that shit. Fentanyl won't do shit. I mean, I've heard people talk like this, man. Fentanyl, it ain't all that. Fentanyl is not all that. That's a myth. They got y'all scared. I've been mainlining 40 years. What do you do with such people? Okay. And by the way, I'm for God intervening. However, if folks don't want to be saved, if God can't touch them, trust me, your my asses can't either.
Well, let me say this, Doc. I think the intervention of God is in place right now because you're hearing voices like myself, yourself saying, look, I can't stress this enough, family. I've given the government, the police department, almost 30 years of my life. Okay. And I don't have to do this. I should be like the typical retired officer who just chill, enjoy his life, and just go off into the sunset, just chill. I ain't gotta do this.
Look at white women on the beach.
I do this because I have a genuine love for my people. I do this because I know that we're in trouble. Mm-hmm. I do this because I see and I've seen and I know that our leadership, so-called leadership class, whether it's civil rights, yes, misleadership, and the preachers and these just politicians, they've really, 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 really undermined our Black collective. They sold us out. Mm-hmm. And me in good conscience cannot just sit back and say, you know what? Well, I'm going to just do me. Now, I can do this, but I won't do it. And so, again, I need the people very serious about knowing and understanding. I need to get into your head that there are people out here in this world, they are imagining a world without you and your family. Forget about the collective. Think about you personally. There are people out here who can't wait to see you dead, who will walk over your carcass, and if you was on fire, they wouldn't piss on you. Okay? Mm-hmm. And you need to know this. It's just that serious. I mean, I go inside these spaces, I listen to the conversations, and the utter contempt that they have for us as a collective, man. I need y'all serious. Dr. Shore need you serious. We don't know how long our voice is going to be out here doing this. Chef C need you serious. Brother Twiz, we don't know. Okay? Because, again, I'm not no agent. You can look at my views, my subscribers to know that I'm not no agent. They don't want this voice out here. They don't want this out there. Because I'm not just talking, I'm training, teaching, Give them the resources and information you need to defend yourself. I know what they're doing. They will give you a license to carry a gun, but they won't show you how to shoot it. Listen up. It's just that serious. I need you to, if you don't hear nothing else that I say, just remember this. There are people out here from all these ethnicities who can imagine a world without Black Americans.
Yes. We're dirt beneath their feet. Actually, we're the smegma in their foreskin.
In spite of our sacrifices to get them here, we advocated for them to be here in the 60s, and they're here. There was no great migration coming to America before the 60s.
That's right.
There was no great migration of foreigners coming to America before the 60s because we were white America's secret weapon. We've always been a secret weapon. They're moral conscious, okay? Then we advocated for everybody else to come, and they came, and look what we get back. Content. Like we owe them something. Man, I couldn't go to another country and speak bad on their people the way they speak bad on us. Not on my watch.
Come on.
Not on my watch.
Scared to death Negroes are my enemy.
Yes, indeed. You know, listen, listen. I think it is necessary that we play. You know what? First and foremost, let me skip to this. This is what people came here for. Ladies and gentlemen, have y'all been following this? Your girl rapper out here, ladies and gentlemen, the rapper Remy Ma. You know, we're trying to figure out, we got to understand, is it patriarchy, the absence of qualified patriarchy that caused the raising of this serial killer of a child that she put out there? The guy's a murderer. Her son's a murderer. Okay. And I just got to say, you know, qualified patriarchy, are we being driven from the homes? Reduced to the sperm donor thing that they like to shame us?
We've always been sperm donors.
You know, and now you got Remy Ma, and people are actually, you know, playing the banjo for her. Don't blame her. Yeah, no. But any other time, see, she gets a pass, and this is why I want to call this out, because she gets a pass, ladies and gentlemen. Right? Being a shitty parent, because that kid came from you. Right? We could just how quickly people are here to say, oh, white folks spawned that devil. Well, Remy Ma spawned this murderer. Okay? And we got to make it make sense, because this same Remy Ma that we're talking about, this lady's having a midlife crisis. She don't know if she refuses to count the years to her real age because she spent them in jail. Okay? Delusional nonsense. A lot of chicks like this are the same type of females, ladies and gentlemen, who get bent over by young boys because they still want to be hot. Right?
Chef C.
Yes, sir.
Did you know that the thong doesn't fall far from the ankles?
Sir.
If she's not shit, then her child won't be shit.
Come on now. Come on.
Again, the thong doesn't fall far from the ankles. I mean, so why would she was in jail, why wouldn't her son be a murderer? I mean, it makes sense to me. It seems like a progression. In fact, he's taken it up a notch. And what was she in jail for? Was she in jail for attempted murder? And was he more successful than his mother?
Well, let's read on it then, sir. Let's get some context for the family. If you can mute your mics, gentlemen, because I'm getting back noise. Mute your mics. Let me read on this so we can get some context for the people. Jason Scott, the son of rapper Remy Ma, was arrested on a first-degree murder charge in connection to a 2021 fatal shooting in Queens, New York. Fair use by the Copyright Act of 1976. It's by NBC News, y'all. Okay, let's keep on reading this. Scott, 23, ain't that some shit? Scott, 23, was arrested and charged on Tuesday in June 7, 2021, fatal shooting of Darius Galaby in Queens, according to a statement from the New York City Police Department. In addition to the first-degree murder, Scott was arrested on charges of second-degree murder, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of weapon. Is the system targeting the young man Scott because he's Remy Ma's son? Is this what we're seeing here, or he just a little nigga, a degenerate?
Well, I hope he is. I'm sick of some of these degenerate rappers. All they've done is put poison and confusion and Luciferianism in the community. Something needs to target them. Unfortunately, I don't run the FCC. None of their records would get airtime if I was in charge.
Come on.
In fact, they wouldn't be able to work at Burger King if I ran things.
Well, let's read some more.
Non-talented, ignorant people. They make me sick.
Well, she's the spawn. He's the spawn of Remy Ma. So yeah, like you say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Let's keep on reading this though.
I said the thong doesn't fall far from the ankles.
Interesting. The thong.
The same thing. The condom, or for that matter, the Kotex. In fact, that may fit him better. The suppository.
Let's read some more. A representative for Ma and her son released a statement saying that there were very serious, unfounded allegations made against Scott. Remy Ma wished to address this situation personally, but has been strongly advised by our office not to say anything publicly, as most people in this situation are, as the case is still active, the statement said. To be clear, Jason Scott is innocent and Remy Ma is committed to proving his innocence and fully supporting her son during this time. Scott has not yet been arraigned on the charges, and court record were not available as of Thursday. Okay. A second suspect, Richard Swergart, was also arrested on a murder charge in the case. The NYPD said a public defender for Swergart did not immediately return a call requesting comment. Okay. According to police, officers responded to calls of shots fired at 148th Street and Rockaway Boulevard, which is outside John F. Kennedy Airport on June 7, 2021. A 47-year-old man, later identified as Galaby, was found with multiple gunshot wounds to the head and chest. Okay. He was taken to Jamaica Hospital Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Okay. Well, deleted, excuse me. Local news outlet QNC Scan reported at the time that Galaby was seen arguing with two men before he was before shots were fired. Was named as one of the 54 defendants in the New York Attorney General's Operation Heatwave in 2020, November 2020. A law enforcement bus focused on 3 drug trafficking rings. Oh, so you got druggies, Remy, and you got certified killers. You raised a certified killer and a drug lord. Okay, I got it. Anyway, let's continue. He was accused of being a narcotic source of drug operations in upstate New York. The article was originally published on NBC. Now, ladies and gentlemen, oh snap, salute to my sister DW in the building. Salute to DW. Sister D. But yes, Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir. This is you. This got you all over it, sir. 27 plus years in enforcement, sir. What do you think?
Chef, your voice went muffled, but I will say this: if they held him and not charged him, then he's been held on circumstantial evidence, not enough to charge him. So somebody done named him, or they maybe caught an image of him on some type of camera, but they holding him for some questions. But if he hasn't been charged, it's circumstantial evidence.
Okay, circumstantial. So innocent until proven guilty, essentially, sir.
Innocent until they got enough information to charge him with the crime.
I see. Understood, sir. Understood. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first from Brother Juan J. Johnson, experienced police officer, 27 years. Okay. But you know what? We got to hear something from Remy Ma now. I think it's important that we bring up Remy Ma. And she's got a few things to say. You know, Remy don't like people going for her. You know, she wants you to be careful about what you say. You know, you're laughing, you're doing all these other things, ha ha, kikiing, and you know, she wants you to be careful about the things you're talking about, family. So let's go ahead and hear what Remy Ma got to say about this murderous child that she raised. Salute to Remy Ma.
Be careful who you laugh and joke at because of these situations, because you might find yourself in that same situation. That's just the way God works.
God?
Is God in the killings here, sir? I just, you know, listen, is this our fault? It's our fault, the patriarch fault, that Remy Ma has raised a authentic menace to society, gentlemen?
You know, I'm going to say this, and I don't care how to. You know, the birth control pill is one of the most stupid things on the planet, because not because of the pill itself, but the people that use the pill. Folks have treated the pill as if it's a magic bullet, and that I can hold and slut as much as I want if I take the pill. And it has made women 100 times dumber today than they were 70 years ago. Well, women aren't classy or choicey. They figure they can weather anything if they're taking contraception. They can be wilder than the nastiest man.
Be careful who you laugh and joke at.
Well, I mean, I'm laughing at you, and we should laugh. In fact, if it's bothering her, what she really should be upset about is all the pollution that they call music that they've been putting out in the community for years. And so, you know, the birth control pill users, a lot of them are stupid. They think that there's a way that they can do anything that they want, sleep with whoever they want without the consequences of childbirth or conception taking place. And then I guess the kids raise themselves somehow. And they have, and this has been going on for too long, that children haven't had families. In fact, we don't have this conversation. I'm going to tell you why. Let's just venture off. You know, a lot of folks spend a lot of their time defending their whore-ass mothers. Just call it what it is.
Now we're going to go there now. Let's go there.
She did the best she could. No, she didn't do the best she could. The best she could was to wait until that person was married and you had legal papers. Therefore, he'd be compelled to do something or have to run. But they're not doing the best. If they're on the pill and they're whoring, they weren't doing the best they can. Now, bitch was born like every other one with 3 million eggs with periods. I mean, you got blood coming out your cooch every so many days. You know that you can be a parent if you're sleeping around. You choose to have sex with strangers when you're on your period. Then when you get pregnant, you don't know how. Or you take your birth control pills that you trust more than Jesus intermittently. We're not talking about fasting. If you're going to be a slut like that, then you have to maybe double up on the bitches like Tic Tacs. But that's not what these folks do. And they picked the sorriest of men to lay down with. And nobody can tell them that, please, not him. I've seen folk beg. And these rebellious, Jezebel spirited women pick the most wicked, irresponsible, non-husband material, non-father material of all times. And then the people say, my mother, she struggled. She did the best she could. No, your mother didn't do the best she could. She got a whole consolation prize called a bastard. Your mother did not do the best that she could. She did the worst that she could.
Come on.
And then you got here. And everybody covered up. And if you had a grandmother, she took care of you so she could continue to go and screw and act like she's not a mom. And this has been going on for generations. This shit's not new for whore-ass black women to throw the child off on an aunt or a grandmother and live their life. That's the proto pork chop feminist, where mama or grandma or somebody took on the kids because you had to screw someone that you weren't married to. And it used to be, now that generation of women, they're wearing booty shorts and getting butt lifts, and they got eyelashes that are bigger than the wings on the Boeing airplanes that keep crashing. I mean, let's be honest. There's no longer an infrastructure to help take care of and rear the bastards of pork chop feminist hoes. And as a result, these kids, I mean, you know what Hooked on Phonics for those kids are those games that are violent. That's their Hooked on Phonics. I have friends that are teachers. The kids don't even know the shapes. They don't know primary colors. What the fuck are these whores doing? Won't put the kids up for adoption? Okay, I've seen this. People, it's their kids. They treat, in fact, children to these women is a grift. It's SNAP. It's WIC, it's Section 8, it's school lunch, it's Medicare, Medicaid. Children are basically a grift. And the grift is that as long as you're not forming a family with the black man, we'll help you. And it's interesting. When black folks had 10 and 12 children together, they did better with the man in the home, even if they struggled, than they are with 3 children with 1 woman with no man. Let's just come out and say it. Women fuck up as parents if they don't have a man around. Most of the time they fail, even when they're good people. It is not the same rate of success as if you pick a good man. And for all the women that don't like it, I don't give a damn. When you deliberately pick a drunk, sorry ass man that you don't have a conversation with, like women that don't like men that communicate, then 10 years into the marriage, they're mad he doesn't talk. You picked the nigga that had the vocabulary of Lurch from the Addams family that doesn't talk. Now you're mad he doesn't talk. The single parent family is a disaster. It is a failure comprised of failed adults. Now, we're not talking about the woman that got that was married and the man left. We're not talking about separation or divorce unless you're a tramp and you brought about the divorce, or you're the kind of hoe that can't appreciate anybody. But the solid women that got abandoned or divorced or thrown away, that's a different category. Those women still try and are devoted to their children, that don't pump all this hatred into the man that left them. They don't tell their children, you know, that dude looked like he had a half smoke bigger than a Polish kielbasa, right? And I wanted to feel that inside of me, and I wasn't really thinking about that. I had a couple of drinks, and we did it. Instead of saying, he promised he was going to build me a castle in Switzerland, lying bitch, you just wanted to fuck. You got impregnated, and now you're mad at all black men in the world because you were a hoe. And then you teach your children to hate men. So your boy comes up a sissy because he's so ashamed of his father, who you never let him meet or talk to. You do everything to destroy, right? And at the same time, you may let your boyfriends come in and gangbang your kids, right? And abuse them. You know, y'all be fighting over Frosted Flakes and shit, and the motherfucker pull out a gun and shoot a 4-year-old. and you still want to be with him. This kind of shit, this is commonplace. This has happened on the watch of Black feminists. Black pork chop feminists are guilty. The verdict from we patriarchs is that you women have failed. You are the failure completely. No excuses, no white supremacy. The only tool that you could have had to fight white supremacy was a loyal Black male partner, which you waived. It's your fault. Fall on your own sword.
Well,
Doc.
pause right there, brother Short. Pause right there.
Doc.
Now, check when you say the male that you betrayed. See, we gotta keep in mind she was with a young man by the name of Pat Poose. She was locked up. She was locked up for several years. That man went to her. I think he spent 1 year going to her every fucking week, nonstop, brother Short.
Mm-hmm.
She could not wait. She got out of jail, spent a little fake time with him, and then next thing you know, she's bobbling on the help dick. Cheat on that very loyal man, held her down, cheated on him with the help that they brought in under their label. Easy, young man by the name of Easy to Block. I believe that's his name. Easy to Block. So, and he cheated, and she cheated on him. And
Of
now
course
Pat
it was-
Poose, the husband who was so loyal and everything, is nowhere to be found. And now
but
she's
isn't that
hold on,
smart?
sir.
Isn't that smart for
Hold
him
on,
to
sir.
do
And
that?
now she's doing shit like this, what you see on the screen, having little fucking Catildas parties, acting like you a princess at damn near 50 years old. Look at this
Because
shit.
you know what? Remember that commercial? I don't
Sick.
want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There you go. Come
These fools don't want to grow up. They're a feminist kid. Let me tell you something. Somebody that you and I know, I'm not gonna say the name, Chef C,
Right.
said something and that caused me. And she says, well, women need time to discover themselves. Sorry, bitches. You should know who you are by 25. I mean, that women self-discovering in their 40s and 50s and 60s are miserable fucks. Okay. In fact, I'm sorry, some women are so odd, they're never going to find out who the hell they are. They were better off with their life being defined by the man they were married to and their children. This idea that women have to have this distinct identity away from their husband and their children, it's a fucking lie, ladies. I'm not saying if you're single that you don't have your own identity. I'm not saying if you're married you don't have your own identity. But this idea that every woman must have a distinct career, and if her life is deeply immersed in her family and her husband, there's something wrong with her. That's some lesbian feminist shit that Black women have taken to heart, and that I have to have an identity that's different from my man. We don't have a joint identity. It's not enough. I don't want his name. Well, fuck, why'd you marry him? Okay. Men are not accessories to your pork chop feminism, to your self-discovery. I have all these friends who are in their 50s whose wives are divorcing them because the bitch needs to find more of herself after she has grown adult kids and she's almost 60 and she decides, I need a new life. Remember, they made all these shows mocking men who had midlife crises. It was never flattering for a man to leave his wife or change no matter what. But look at how they praise the women who start all over again, and they say 50 is the new 30. It's bullshit. 50 is the new 70, as run down as a lot of you folks are. Y'all need to stay in those relationships with the men that married you. Because you know what? We got 1 million Black women above the age of 65, more than 1 million. Their parents are dead. They had no children. They're not married. They're in assisted living, getting messed over, probably paying for dick from orderlies and other people. It's sad. They're lonely. And you know what? They were too good to have children, so they must have aborted and killed all the children. It comes back to you. Those children that came that were inside of you that you murdered when your womb is nothing but a crime scene, sisters? It is. It's a crime scene. Those children used to be your life insurance that would take care and look after you. If you had enough kids, there'd be one that could stand you, that would look after you. But you killed all of them, and you didn't want any man around. And now, when you're old, ugly, run down, now you're entitled to someone that's maybe 30 years younger to take care of you. These messages are not from Black foremothers. These aren't messages from the Black community. These are messages from white supremacist feminists who you listen to more than Jesus. And you know what? Y'all dying alone. You're committing suicide. You're falling. People find you in your house decomposed. That's the reward of trying to live in a world where there isn't patriarchy. Trying to live in a world where there's no order. Trying to live in a world where I'm professional. I don't need a man to define me and all that shit. Well, you're going to need a male orderly to lift your heavy ass because you're too big for the women to move. A whole bunch of stuff you're going to need. You're going to need a male mortician to embalm your ass. You're going to need a lot of things for men. You're going to need a coroner and so forth. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. They've told these women that they can live in a world in which men don't matter. And it's gay. There's some gay shit that you women are on. Even if you don't munch carpet, you think like a lesbian. I call it proto-lesbianism. Now, if a man got up and said he didn't need women, we'd all be thinking he's fag. We need to have an equal standard. Women that don't need men, women that don't need family, women that hate children, women that don't want to form a permanent union, they're deviant. And they're not strong Black women. They're hoes that don't have a corner or a pimp.
Brother Lone Wolf, Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir. Sir.
Man,
mental illness, sir.
Well, see, most people would say mental illness. What I say is a much deeper issue. I pulled up the scripture, and I need to read this because the scripture says the carnal mind.
Is that enmity?
Enmity.
Yes, it is. Sure is.
You know, I've been saying this recently that a lot of our people don't like God. Now, they confess with their mouths, and they even say they believe in their heart.
They do a lot of things with their mouths.
But their actions says they don't like God.
A lot of actions with their mouths.
So Romans, again, everybody's not a follower of the revolutionary Jesus. I understand.
But that's their problem.
Hold on, brother Dr. Shaw. Hold on. Let him get over.
Losers.
Yeah, they're not, everybody's not followers. But I will say this. Romans 8 says this. I'm going to read just three verses. For they that are after the flesh do the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit do the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death. The abortions.
All the Juneteenth shootings, or as I said, Coonteenth.
But to be spiritual minded is life and peace. You watch the person who has peace and patience. That's the person you should be walking. That's the person you should be following. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. We're dealing with people who hate God, man.
Come on.
It hurts for me to be able to say this because I want so much to believe that folks love God. But the scripture says, how can you say you love God and whom you've never seen? But you hate your brother that you see every day. You hate the patriarch. You hate the men.
Come on.
You hate their babies. You
the babies. I mean, watch this. It's right in our face. And we're trying to deny the evidence. I did law enforcement for almost 3 decades. We go with the evidence. What does the evidence say?
Come on.
Hatred, killers, a law unto themselves.
Mhm.
And that's why God has raised up some brothers and some sisters, some wazies,
Yes.
some
God
lone
bless the wise.
wolves, okay? Some wolves
Mm.
to plant the seed and walk over their carcasses.
Come on.
Male, female, black, white, Asian, Latino. We don't discriminate about the carcasses. We
Come
walk
on,
over them.
come on.
Okay?
Come on.
Because we are called to a higher purpose.
Mhm.
You know, we want
And
the
one of those,
good. Go ahead. What'd you say, Doc?
and one of those purposes is to make certain that we get into the presence of God in the afterlife. Those
watch
people
this.
that don't want God, well, great, God won't want you.
Look,
Go ahead,
Chase,
brother.
that's why I say, because I've seen it, I had a front row seat to the destruction of the black community. I mean, like, so we read a book by Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of Our
Of
Community.
black civilization.
Civilization. But I had a front row seat to the destruction of the community. And the patriarchy was absent.
Come on.
Lord.
Come on.
The patriarch was absent. So what we're doing, brothers, we are reimagining the patriarch. We're on a quest to reimagine what we should be or what we could be.
Come on.
Because we're not, again, people are talking about it. This 8/24/24 coming up is a reimagining the patriarch.
Mm-hmm.
Getting our people in line, in order, okay? And calling out the inappropriate behaviors and the haters of God.
Scared to death Negroes are my enemy.
I love that clip.
They are our enemy.
Listen, gentlemen, listen. Y'all going to scripture on me. Y'all going to the scriptures on me, and I got to bring this up, gentlemen.
Okay.
Look at here. Look at here. Let me give you this. This is 1:12, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, I'm gonna read it off to you. Let me read it off to you. Okay, this is a script. This is scripture now. This is scripture. I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over man. She must be silent. That's in the book. That's in the book. I'm listen, feminists, whatever you demonic ladies, don't come at Chef C. I pulled up the word from the Lord, your Lord.
So I'll say this. I'll say this.
Come on.
You have the grace of the scriptures, right? And you have the grace of the nation. See, we're on the two graces. The things we do in America, we couldn't do nowhere else. That's the grace of the nation. But most people, a lot of people don't even read the scriptures. So that scripture you're saying is to a generation, the Xer, to the boomers, to the silent generation. But these millennials and Ys, they ain't read that. They don't know that. But they do know that they're in a nation where the women have the liberty to be, to do, and to have whatever they want, to go whatever they want, to say whatever they want. But we've had almost a 30-year experiment with this.
Come on.
No, we've had a 50-year experiment with it.
Yes, and the results are in. Ask the question, are we better now than we were in the 60s? The 50s?
No. But
Come
ask
on.
yourself a different question. If God's way is that women are not supposed to be over men, then what's Satan's way? Women to be over men, which means the black community is satanic. As long as God, as long as pork chop feminists, as long as so-called womanists are the black lesbian or feminists that white women don't want to sleep with, so they call themselves womanists. I mean, they act like it's black. In reality, nobody wants you. As long as women are over the men, when God made men first, we're not obeying God. This is evil. And it's reprobation. And when God gives people over to a reprobate mind, they self-destruct due to wickedness.
Come on.
Therefore, don't we see self-destruction? You can't have a party without someone pulling out a gun, shooting everybody there. This didn't happen.
You're headed for self-destruction. Headed for self-destruction. You know that song now. Come on.
This is come from feminism. Okay. And it is feminist fault. And if I ever read to you the feminist cultural revolution, it talks about the goal of it is to destroy patriarchy and to destroy the man and his babies, to promote pornography and confusion.
Show the book, Doctor. Show the book. Show the book.
I have the book. Wait a minute. I have to dig for it, but it's and I have all my computers up. We can do that in another conversation.
Okay.
I promise. Hold on.
Well, I will say this, Brother Short. Take a second. I want to read the rest of this scripture up. This word from the book.
Read that word.
Can I read the word? Because
read the word. Read the word.
You know, this is God. You know, it's not me. It's not Chef C. It ain't you, brother, the ordained wolf. Yeah, Twizzle, tap it back in. It ain't Twizzle. Oh, brother,
the Twiz. The Twiz is back.
Yeah, this is the book. Yeah.
They should be silent and not be allowed to teach or tell men what to do. But I do not allow a woman to teach or exercise authority of a man. Remain quiet.
Could you repeat that, please?
Come on, ordained. Come on, one time for
I'm gonna start from the beginning. I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She must be silent. They should be silent and not be allowed to teach or to tell men what to do. But I do not allow a woman to teach or exercise authority over a man, but to remain quiet.
Is the modern day woman an atheist?
Somebody need to put that on a t-shirt ASAP. Chef, you need to put that on an apron ASAP.
The modern day woman isn't an atheist. She's a Luciferian.
Ooh, Lord.
They are theistic. They believe in Lucifer. Okay, if you understand that the feminism loves Satan, feminism revises it. They claim that Lucifer came to free women, and it's God and Jesus Christ who.
Hold on, run that back, Brother Short. Lucifer came to do what?
To free women. So Eve was right to disobey God. It's men that didn't want women to be free. So Satan is the liberator of women. This is what.
Hold on, Brother Short. Hold on. We didn't. Hey, Brother Wolf, we didn't mean to go to church today. This is not what we wanted to do. However, the good old book, sir.
Yes.
You know, because there's a lot of quote unquote God-fearing women running around, even the ones that sit on these panels and run their mouths, and you know, God is saying you need to shut the fuck up. Essentially, yeah. Somebody need to keep their mouth closed. But in the, you know, but what we're looking at is we're looking at what do they call her? What's the name of that? Jezebel.
Right.
All right. You're looking at What's that other name they call him? The other name they call him, Brother Juan. I forget. There you go. Come on now. Listen. Today was not supposed to be a Sunday service kind of guy. It was not. However, the good word, God is telling you to be quiet. Honor thy man. And if he not for you, just slide off and dip. Don't even deal with that guy. However, you got a lot of women squaring up, pointing your finger at the guy, treating him like a little bellboy. And then you get surprised when he get a little act right and go upside your head. And you don't know what happened. Now you turn Karen. See, you to a degree, lady, you're not only fighting against that man in the flesh, but you're also fighting against God.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. Let Pastor Chef C go and sit down for a second. Brother Juan J. Johnson, you got it, sir. I don't want to do that.
No. I think we have to have this discussion because I'm a result person. Are we better today than we were yesterday? Are we better than we were 10 years ago? And what is making us better or worse? We've got to look at all the stats and the facts. And look, the results are in.
Right.
I watched yesterday, right, the broadcast on I think it was Reuters TV of Kim Jong and Putin come together.
Come on.
For the first time in decades. That Russia went to Korea, right? And he got the red carpet treatment. And I watched this for like almost an hour. In the first 30 minutes, it was just silent. No commentary, no noise. But I saw how this man from North Korea gathered millions of people to come together to celebrate another dignitary. Okay? No noise, no commentary. I'm just watching it. I'm seeing women and men working together. I'm seeing children working together on the same page. They wasn't fussing and fighting.
Come on.
And then I look at us, how the First Amendment comes with consequences. Freedom of speech is not free, family. Freedom of religion is not free. Freedom of assembly is not free. Freedom of the press is not free. Freedom, the right to petition your government ain't free. Somebody paying a price for the First Amendment.
Right.
Okay? And I said it to say this. All this talking that our women that we're doing, we don't even realize the residual effects it's having on us as a collective. People are putting in place a plan to get rid of us.
Come on.
And they're going to use our words against us, our images. Okay? Social media may not be real to a lot of people, but it's real to the powers that be who want to implement plans to get rid of us. And they're going to use our women, their words, our men, and our words that we use against them, or they use against us.
Right.
I'm so careful not to put too much stuff out there in the universe because I know the power of the spoken word, not just the written word or the living word within us. I know the power of the spoken word, and every time we say something, it has a repercussion. We ain't just speaking in a vacuum. What we're saying will be viewed for generations to come. If I die tonight, somebody will see this video maybe 5-6 years from now and hear my words. Right. And our women don't realize that your words have consequences. And so I can understand the scripture. If we're logical, men are more logical than females. I'm a lot. I don't have the I don't have the I don't have the time right now for emotions.
Right. Come on.
Okay. Especially when you're in survival mode. Especially when you're in a war mentality. When you're in a warrior's mentality, you don't have time for emotions. Okay. But our women are emotional. And I can understand why he would say that scripture. But because we live in America and you're under extended grace, we promote the women. But again, we've had a 10, 20-year experiment, and look at where we are right now. Are we better or are we worse? Go ahead, Dr. Short. I pass it to Dr. Short.
Brother Short, you got the book? You got the book, sir?
I have the writer. I have some of their writings. But the godmother, here's the book, Radical Feminism. It's a compendium by Cote, Levine, and Rapone. You may be able to find it. But the person that I'm quoting will be Kate Millett. She was a lesbian witch psycho who's one of the mothers of radical feminism. Let me read something about it. I'm going to go through portions of this book for you to hear what these white, racist, lesbian feminists said that all the stupid ass black women follow, which is why I'm very disrespectful towards feminism.
That's right.
This article, the first one is called Sexual Politics, a Manifesto for Revolution. Kate Millett is a writer, filmmaker, sculptor, and active feminist. She is the author of Sexual Politics and the Prostitution Papers. This manifesto was written in 1968 in connection with the organizational meeting of the first women's liberation group at Columbia University. Both the Columbia Spectator and the Columbia radio station refused to publish or broadcast it, even though it was written by a faculty member to whom they had promised the space and time. Now, let me read this so you can understand what's going on. When one group rules another, the relationship between the two is political. When such an arrangement is carried out over a long period of time, it develops an ideology, feudalism, racism, etc. All historical civilizations are patriarchies. Their ideology is male supremacy. Oppressed groups are denied education, economic independence, power of office, representation, an image of dignity and self-respect, equality of status, and the recognition as human beings. This is a fucking lie. She may be talking about, say, Europeans. It's not everybody's the same, but when these racist white feminists speak, they say their jacked up experience is what everybody else. But mind you, they never overturn it in white folks. They only overturn it amongst us. Let me just go on. Throughout history, women have been consistently denied all of these. And their denial today, while attenuated and partial, is nevertheless consistent. Education allowed them is deliberately designed to be inferior. And they are systematically programmed out of and excluded from knowledge where the power lies today. Example given in science and technology. They are confined to conditions of economic dependence based on the sale of their sexuality in marriage or a variety of prostitutions. Work on the basis of economic independence allows them only a subsistence level of life, often not even that. They do not hold office. They're represented in no positions of power, and authority is forbidden them. The image of a woman fostered by the cultural media, high, low, and low, then and now, is a marginal, demeaning existence, and one outside the human condition, which is defined as the prerogative of man, the male. Government is upheld by power, which is supported through consistent social opinion or imposed by violence. Conditioning to an ideology amounts to the former, but there may be a resort to the latter at any moment when the consent is withdrawn. Rape, attack, sequestration, beatings, murder. Sexual politics obtains consent through the socialization of both sexes to patriarchal policies. Notice how rape, attack, it's always violent, as if women are not violent in their single parent house. Anyway, They consist of the following: the formation of human personality along stereotyped lines of sexual category, based on the needs and values of the master class and dictated by what he would cherish in himself and find convenient in an underclass. Aggression, intellectuality, force, and efficiency for the male. Passivity, ignorance, docility, virtue, and ineffectuality for the female. In reality, it's black people that get this status, people, not white women who owned almost half the slaves.
Come on.
It's interesting how they take what's ours and claim the victimhood and then get all the benefits for the things we struggle for around our victimhood. And just putting that in there. Listen to this. The role of the concept of sex role, which assigns domestic service and attendance upon infants to all females and the rest of human interest, achievement, and ambition to the male. The charge of the leader at all times and places to the male, and the duty of the follower with equal uniformity the female. Look at how she attacks women being mothers. Again, the concept of sex role. In other words, how dare them assume that women take care of children? Oh God, ladies, y'all some dumbass black women down with this stuff. The imposition of male rule through institutions, patriarchal religion, proprietary family, marriage, the home, masculine-oriented culture, and a pervasive doctrine of male superiority. A sexual revolution would bring about the following conditions desirable upon rational and moral humanistic grounds: the end of sexual repression, freedom of expression, and of sexual mores. Sexual freedom has been partially attained, but it is now being subverted beyond freedom into exploitative license for patriarchal and reactionary ends. Unisex, the end of separatist character structure, temperament, and behavior, so that each individual may develop an entire rather than a partial, limited, and conformist personality. They're talking about getting rid of binary sexuality, people. Re-examination of the traits characterized into masculine and feminine, with a total reassessment as to their human usefulness and advisability in both sexes. Thus, if masculine violence is undesirable, it is for both sexes. Feminine dumb cow passivity likewise. If masculine intelligence or efficiency is valuable, it is so for both sexes equal, and the same must be true for feminine tenderness or consideration. The end of sex role and sex status, the patriarchy and the male supremacist ethic, attitude and ideology in all areas of endeavor, experience, and behavior. The end of the ancient oppression of the young under the patriarchal proprietary family. So they're saying, let the children be wild. And sisters, you've been A-OK at letting the kids run wild in the streets. You dumb ladies have followed this white lesbian witch, and look at our kids dying. Way to go, black pork chop feminist. The end of the ancient oppression of the young under the patriarchal proprietary family. Again, where there's discipline and order. This lesbian feminist that never had a child is calling that oppression for children to come up with order. Let me keep reading. Under the proprietary family, their chattel status, chattel meaning slave, the attainment of human rights presently denied them, the professionalization and therefore improvement of their care, in other words, remove children from the care of their fathers. Child family services, yes, the feminist movement is behind you black women's children being stolen, and yet you sluts follow them. Dumbass black pork chop feminists are for the destruction of the black family. They're for the improvement of their care and the guarantee that when they enter the world, they are desired, planned for, and provided with equal opportunities. You know she wasn't talking about black folks. So when it says planned for, that's implied kill everybody that's not planned. Were they talking about us? Bisex, or the end of enforced perverse heterosexuality, so that the sex act ceases to be arbitrarily polarized into male and female, to the exclusion of sexual expression between members of the same sex. The end of sexuality in the forms in which it has existed historically, brutality, violence, capitalism, exploitation, and warfare, that it may cease to be hatred and become love. The attainment of the female sex to freedom and full human status after millennia of deprivation and oppression, and both sexes as a viable humanity. How do y'all like that? There's some more. There's another one. This is called the Feminist Political Organizations to Annihilate Sex Roles, basically to get rid of patriarchy. This sort of repeats some of this.
Doc, your mic is low. Your mic just went low. We can hear you. We can hear you, but your mic is low. Yeah.
They're going to do that. They're going to do that, brother. Let me get the nicer piece of this so we can talk about. Hold on. Let me get the better thing. All right. Okay, we want to do programmatic analysis. Okay. And I will look at what they do. 1 second. This may be the same thing. I'm going to skip. I may skip this and go to the next one. Let me see something. Okay. Oh boy, oh my God, this is awesome.
But Doc, I'll say this. I think you've made the point because, again, a lot of folks didn't even know there was a book called Radical Feminism.
There are plenty of these books. The woman's name is Kate Millett. And let me see. If nobody's on one of my phones, I don't think anybody's on here. I can look Kate Millett up. And when she talks about the Cultural Revolution, and I have the book, trust me, I have the materials. This was on my channel that they took down. A lot of people, let me stop this. There's nobody on this phone. Let me stop this. Shh. If people want, they can go to
And while Dr. Short is looking, I want the ladies to know this. When there's an offspring, there's a root. This whole feminism that just come out of nowhere. We're seeing the symptoms, but there is a root to what we're seeing. Okay? And if you're going to follow something, I think you need to do the investigation to find out the root of it, because we're just attaching ourselves to people and organizations without doing the research. Malcolm said most eloquently that history is best rewarded to those who do the research.
Come on.
Say it again. History is best rewarded to those who do the research, not just attach yourself to something because it sounds good, it feels good. No, you need to do the research. And he just showed you the book Radical Feminism. They're trying to destroy the nuclear family. They don't want to see patriarchy. And let me tell you something on everything I love. Let me go live with this one. On everything I love. I will not stand by and watch this nation go to hell because people are concerned with equality. Okay?
Come on.
Over the nation, diversity, inclusion. I am not going to stand by and watch this nation be destroyed because of the DIE, which is die, or the DEI. It's still death.
Come on.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, I got it, guys.
Let's see it, Dr. Short.
Okay. And this, I mean, which is why I don't care what any feminist says, damn all of you. Okay. Mallory Millett, Kate
Brother Short, real quick. Your mic is really, we need to hear this clearly. Your mic
let me get out and come back in.
Yeah. Yeah, we need that mic clear for this.
And as Dr. Short has left the building, ladies and gentlemen, please be, please look at it. Take what we're saying as a message of love. If we didn't love you, we wouldn't say what we're saying to you. We wouldn't have these conversations.
There he is. Let me see if he's
Okay, do you hear me?
You are live, sir.
Okay. Mallory Millette, Kate Millette's sister, has been telling the story of the 12 women Kate Millette brought together in New York City in the late 60s and early 70s. These are the women who laid the groundwork for second wave feminism, which gave way to the world of woke. Quote, it was 1969 and she took me to a meeting at her friend Leah Karp's place in Greenwich Village. Mallory explained to me for my book, The Anti-Mary Exposed. Quote, at a consciousness raising, which is a communist Chinese imported idea, 12 women gathered at a large table. They opened up with a type of litany from the Catholic Church, but this time it was Marxian, the Church of the Left. The litany, a litany is like, you know, blessed are the meek, and the people say they will inherit the earth, and then so forth. Okay, well, they were doing this sort of liturgical call and response for lesbian feminists. I want y'all to hear this, and every time you hear feminists, remember, even if these hoes don't know the movement they're in, this is what they're about. Why are we here today? The chairwoman asked. To make revolution, they answered. What kind of revolution? She replied. The cultural revolution, they chanted. And how do we make the cultural revolution? She demanded. Quote, by destroying the American family, they answered. How do we destroy the family? She came back. By destroying the American patriarch, they cried exuberantly. And how do we destroy the American patriarch? She probed. By taking away his power. How do we do that? By destroying monogamy, they shouted. How do we destroy monogamy? By promoting promiscuity, eroticism, prostitution, abortion, and homosexuality.
Come on.
All of this filth that's in America that you see, this is a woman's movement. It's not a men's movement. So all the time you see TV, it's always, whether it's The View, women talking down, lecturing men, this fucked up stuff. I'm not saying that men aren't screwed up or sinners. Men don't have a movement other than the sodomites, which is aligned with feminists.
Come on.
This is all women shit. This is the Jezebel of the Bible, the Jezebel spirit. Again, the way to get rid of patriarchy, look at what they're saying the opposite. If we want to get rid of patriarchy, we need to promote what patriarchy is against. Patriarchy is against promiscuity, eroticism, prostitution, abortion, and homosexuality, which means feminism is for promiscuity, eroticism, prostitution, abortion, and homosexuality.
Come on. Come on.
This is your woman's movement. And some of us have had the chance to watch what the woman's movement has done. It's killed and stolen and destroyed.
Brother Short, real quick.
This is what,
quick.
Let me screen copy this shit. Let me screen
pull that book up real quick so people can see it.
It's not a book. I can send you this link, and forgive me.
Let me pull it up.
No. I don't have this. I can tell anybody how to look for it. Look for Kate Millette, spelled Katemillet. Put in capital letters AND, and then put in Cultural Revolution. You'll find it. The person that has this quote up that I knew was here, I told you I have to do is look for it. This information is out. If people, this feminist stuff is sick, it's wacky, it's Luciferian, and now it's normal. These women have won, and men have lost. Men think stupidly that feminism means women want to vote, women want decent pay. We men are for that. That's first wave feminism. Second and third wave feminism hates men, hates the family, hates children, hates God. It's Luciferian. Your woman's movement is of Satan. Mind you, we're not saying we don't want women to vote, earn money. We don't want women beaten up, all of that. But eroticism, promiscuity, abortion. If that's what's necessary to supposedly liberate women, then I'm against that kind of liberation. Quote me.
Mm.
I think I can send this to you, but you don't have a Twitter account, do you? Let me see how I can send this to. Let me see. Send via direct message. No, I can't do that. You don't have a Twitter account, do you? So I'm sorry. I Anybody can find The Cultural Revolution by Kate Millett and the description. It's out there. Mallory, her sister, Mallory Millett, it's all over. You got Google. In fact, let me say this, Chef C, because we've made people stupid. When we were coming up, all the person had to do was quote the person's name, and you went and you looked for it in the library. Everybody with the phone has their own goddamn supercomputer.
Facts.
So fucking look it up yourself. And why is it so much on me? I got to bring this, got to get paid. In fact, when you do all that, they're still going to be on the dumb shit that they're on, Chef C. Look for yourself. If you're really hungry for knowledge, you'll find it. Instead of, oh, bring it to me like you're a damn waiter and you're not tipping.
Speaking
Right?
of tip, speaking of tip, hold on, brother Short. Speaking of tip, goddammit. What does the GoFundMe on your side look like right now, sir?
Well, I mean, I can't tell because I have I'm using
I'll tell you what mine look like. This is what it looks like. $250 for something we're trying to put together for.
Yeah, we need to raise thousands. And because we're going to put these holes on the run. And it's I don't care. I mean, trust me. Look, they're shadow banning me, people. Nobody ever argues with me. They simply make me disappear. They don't want. I have books in my up to the fucking ceiling. I mean, I dare them. These are their damn words. Their goddamn books. You said this shit. They actually don't think because most men don't take people with pussies or vaginas don't matter. I've taken the time to study these feminists, at least to research, to buy the books. It costs money. That's one of the reasons I'm constantly saying, send me some money. It's, believe it or not, it's not being spent on a fancy setup. It's for me to have it. So if you ask me where something is, I can pull it out. I have all kinds. In fact, my feminist books are here. I've got Who Stole Feminism at the bottom. There's another book called The Abolition of Women, Radical Feminism. I have the material. And I'm saying to you that it's killing children and killing the family and killing womanhood. I think I know what Judith Butler's book is. Judith Butler, the whole philosophy of feminism is to get rid of womanhood. So all this talk about woman this and woman that, all the while got women acting like men. It's killing womanhood. When she says get rid of sex roles, it's saying get rid of being women. So you have all these white women chopping the titties off. It comes from the spirit behind what I'm saying to you. And it's not men. We love boobies. Nobody male out here want women. They don't even want to stay with the woman. She has mastectomy when she has breast cancer and he's with her. Nobody male wants women to cut their breast off. It's radical lesbian feminists that want women to cut their breast off.
But Doc, watch this.
It's not men. It's women doing this. Women's biggest enemy are women. It's not men.
And they also expect us to defend them in
the wrong.
Yeah.
They want us to fight for them in the wrong.
Yeah.
And yet when a man's in the wrong, we're supposed to come down on the man. And not only that, we're supposed to what? Trust the woman. Whatever a woman says, she accused someone of rape. She accuses someone in an assisted living dwelling that's in a wheelchair of rape. We got to lock the 100-year-old because she said.
Hold on, brother Short. Let me make it big. Let me make it plain, ladies and gentlemen. This is the person that a lot of these talking points are coming from. Look at this weirdo.
She's a witch. She's a lesbian. She had mental problems. A lot of these women that are pushing this stuff are crazy. Alice Walker is a basket case. A lot of these women are out. They're certified nuts. And that's who they put up. And it's the same way you'll notice in politics and television, they seem to prefer ugly black women. And they always get the most macho, hard looking black women to make them leaders. It's never a cute looking black woman. It's got to be someone that looks like, Yaphet Kodo. Remember him, Juan? You got to get a hard looking sister that looks like, one of the hobbits from Lords of the Ring. I mean, and then put that and make it out that black men are shallow. Ugly white folk don't make it in politics. Why do ugly black people have to be successful?
Yeah, but you know what? Let me make it plain, brother Dr. Short and brother Juan. This is the mother of, metaphorically, niggas ain't shit. This is the mother of it. The birthplace of those talking points, that rhetoric and degeneracy comes from a chick that looks like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the mother. And then your modern day woman is regurgitating their remix version of what she was spitting out.
And she's mentally ill, a miserable drug-using lesbian. That's the reference point to critique black men. Ooh, thank you so much, pork chop feminists.
Come on.
Damn. Now, what if we went to a wacky looking white gay dude to have reference points for black women? This would be bitch to the high heavens. Even the Holy Ghost would get tired of hearing you guys nag.
And she's a part of the silent generation, not the boomers. She's 1934.
Right.
Yeah.
This stuff isn't new. This stuff is old. People need to understand that this whole thing isn't new. But what is new is that we don't talk to each other as black men and black women. Instead, somehow Miss Ann, the same one that was screwing your man and probably eating pickled black penises after he was lynched, and she said it was great. Now you go to her for advice on all this stuff. This is amazing. The same one who's wearing ermine and pearls because her man's raping you, making you, pick cotton. She's too good to have babies breastfeed off of her low value, low intensity milk. Your children have rickets and her children are fed off your milk, and she's your ally.
Wow.
I'm just saying that sisters are delusional as hell. A bunch of y'all need to be institutionalized. Going to white supremacist, racist, radical lesbian feminists to guide your life, or you go to the knockoff of white feminists, so-called womanists. That's nothing but white racist feminism, spray painted black. And it's usually the black women who can't get a white woman that become womanists. I said it just like that.
Like lady, like who's gonna keep it 100 and really not us on the panel here, but in the chat, can you really keep it 100 and say you knew that this is the person that a lot of your rhetoric was coming from? I don't need no man. Don't that sound familiar? Niggas ain't shit. Yeah. Give me some more stuff that they say.
Look at how hard looking she is. I'm telling you, this broad could be a goblin in the haunted mansion and shit. I mean,
right.
Trust me, no man's oppressing you. If anything, it's oppression for a man to have to look at your face. Trust me, most men were running to. I mean, we wanted liberation from your ugliness. Okay, please.
So watch this. Chef, keep that up, because I want to read that little excerpt.
Okay.
Captain Murray Millett, September 14th, 1934, died September 6th, 2017, was an American feminist.
Ooh, I'm glad she's gone.
Feminist writer, educator, artist, activist. She attended the University of Oxford and was the first American woman to be awarded a degree with first-class honors after studying at St. Hilda's College, Oxford. She has been described as a seminal influence on second-wave feminism and is best known for her book Sexual Politics, 1970, which was based on her doctoral dissertation. I want you to read this. Hear this. At Columbia University, journalist Lisa Featherstone, wow, hold up, attributes the attainment of previously unimaginable legal abortion, greater professional equality between the sexes, and sexual freedom in part of Millet's efforts.
This is an orgy advocate.
Of course. And let me go further. I have another passage I want to share because
Freak nasty advocate. That's all she is.
She is a freak. There's another one. When I was in divinity school 30 years ago, this no good lesbian witch by the name of Mary Daly. She was at, I think, Boston College, and males couldn't even take her class. She hated men so much. And I want you guys to understand that this feminist thing is satanic. Okay. I want you to hear some of this. For all of you women that say you're Christian, that go to church and you're feminist and you're liars. You're either following Christ or you're following, some lesbian witch. I'm reading from the section The Spiritual Dimension of Women's Liberation by Mary Daly. Let me read the whole title of this. I'm not reading the whole thing. Spiritual Dimension of Women's Liberation by Mary Daly. Let me just say this to you. Mary Daly belongs to the National Organization of Women and is active in Task Force on Women and Organized Religion. She is also active in the Women's Liberation, yes, at Boston College, where she teaches as one of the organizers of the Catholic Women's Caucus. She holds several degrees in theology and philosophy and is the author of The Church and the Second Sex, Harper Row, 1968, which explores sexism in church history. Now listen, so all y'all in church, you wonder why the churches are fucked up. Wonder why the churches are all collapsing for all this bullshit all over the country. I'm going to share with you why. Spiritual potential of the movement. As the women's revolution begins to have effect upon the fabric of society, beginning to transform it from patriarchy into something that never existed before, into a diarchal situation that is radically new. Diarchal meaning men and women separated. Diarchal situation that is radically new. It will, I think, become the greatest single challenge to Christianity to rid itself of its oppressive tendencies or go out of business.
Can you read that portion? Can you read that portion again, Brother Short, with the Christianity, please? Thank you, sir.
I'll read it again. It's one long ass sentence. As the women's revolution begins to have an effect upon the fabric of society, beginning to transform it from patriarchy into something that has never existed before. If it's never existed, you don't know how this shit's going to work out, or you don't care.
Come on.
That never existed before, into a diarchical situation that is radically new. It will, I think, become the greatest single challenge to Christianity to rid itself of its oppressive tendencies or go out of business. Isn't the church dying? You women are killing. You women are killing. You women are killing God. Let me keep going. Beliefs and values that have held sway for thousands of years will be questioned as never before. Like, why can't women get men pregnant? The moment if it is true that the most authentic and prophetic dimensions is possibly the greatest single hope for the survival and development of authentic spiritual consciousness over and against the manipulative and exploitative history of technocracy. The caricature of human being, which is presented by the masculine stereotype, depends for its existence upon the acceptance of women of the role assigned to them, the eternal feminine. Well, if women are not going to be feminine, what are they going to be? They're going to be masculine. So the call is for women to become men.
Come on.
By becoming whole persons. In other words, you're not whole as a woman. You become whole when you're acting like a dude, which basically says they think women are inferior. But damn, I'm sorry. Women have been dumb as hell the last 50 years. 60. It's sad. It's so sad. Okay, whole persons. Women can generate a counterforce to the polarization of human beings into these stereotypes, forcing men to re-examine their own self-definition. So now the men want to be women. See, get the women to be men, get the men to be women. Don't you see that happening? Yes. And whose movement? Woman's movement. Notice on TV and all the radio, it's always the man's fault. We need to start blaming women for shit again. It would be healthy.
Well, hold on 1 second, Brother Short. Take a look at this. And this is going to support your position, what's coming out of that book. See, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. This is the lady here, a hippie butch. A hippie butch who has become the mouthpiece of a quote unquote liberation for women. You guys have been finessed by a fake man.
Yeah, but they seem to like it. They seem to like it.
Go ahead, sir.
This movement towards becoming of whole beings, to the degree that it succeeds, transforms the values and symbols of our society, including religious symbols. The woman's liberation movement is a spiritual movement because it aims at humanization of women and therefore of the species. At its core, it is a spiritual in the deepest sense of the word because it means self-actualization of the creative human potential and the struggle against oppression. Since the projections of patriarchal religion serve to block the dynamics of creativity, self-actualization, and authentic community by enforcing reduction of people to stereotype roles. The challenge to patriarchy, which is now in its initial stages, is a sign of hope for the emergence of a more genuine religious consciousness. Like all these women burning sage, saying that they're spiritual, but they're not religious. Look, here we go. The becoming of women may not be only the doorway to deliverance from the omnipotent Father, the talking about God, and all of his disguises, but to many, as a doorway to something, namely to a more authentic search for transcendence, for that is for God. Women's liberation is an event that can challenge authoritarian, exclusivist, and non-existential ideas of faith and revelation. Since women have been extra environmentals, that is, since we have not been a part of the authority structure which uses faith and revelation to reinforce mechanisms of alienation, our emergence can unmask the idolatry often hid behind these ideas. There could result from this becoming of a woman with re-mythologizing Western religion. That means overturning and making a new religion, people. If it means for the parental symbols for God to persist, something like Father God of Mary Baker Eddy will be more acceptable to the new woman and the new man than the Father God of the past. So they're talking about a non-binary creator. They're deifying homosexuality and gender dysphoria.
Come on.
The women did this. Women did this. This is your movement. It's your movement. A symbolization of the incarnation of the divine presence in human beings may continue to be needed in the future, but it's highly unlikely that women or men will find plausible that symbolism which is epitomized in the Christ-Mary image. Perhaps this will be replaced by a bisexual imagery, which is non-hierarchical.
Come on.
Wow.
The becoming of women can bring about the transvaluation of values. Faith can come to be understood in a non-authoritarian and universalist sense. Hope, rather than being restricted to expectation of rewards for conformity, what they're saying is, thou shalt not kill and don't fornicate. They're saying, let's get rid of all the rules so women can be happy, right? Let's get rid of patriarchy, all rules. Just let everything go. That fits Aleister Crowley. the man who proclaimed himself the Antichrist. Do what thou wilt. Do whatever you want. It's the full extent of the law. Isn't that how these families run by these single parent pork chop feminists are? It's satanic. It's Luciferian. It says the wages of sin is death. Isn't there a lot of death in these communities? That's the wages. Rather than being restricted to an expectation of reward for conformity, which means obeying God, can come to be experienced and understood as creative, political, and revolutionary. Love will mean uniting to overcome oppression. It will be understood. By the way, what does unite to fight oppression? Do you guys know that when you see the Greek letter lambda, what that means to the gay movement? It means unity in the face of oppression. She's using coded language. It sounds good. If you haven't, y'all need to study gay folks. They heavy. Feminists are heavy. There's more to a woman than her holes, brothers. I'm sorry, black men, we support our sorry mayor in DC. She has a big ass. She's got a big ass. It doesn't matter if blacks don't get any contracts. She's got a fat ass. The feminists are counting on black men to be the dumb fuck, dick brain fools that we've been for the last 60 years. We're still acting like busting a nut is like walking on the moon. Maybe it is for you as an individual, but not for us as a collective. There's more to life than fucking. And with all that fucking, your kids get aborted, then it doesn't really mean much, does it? These people are counting on us to be as stupid and base as we've been. We have, in fact, this is predicting that men would become stupid. Just to get sex, they wouldn't care. Just give me the pussy. I don't care if I don't have a family. I don't care if I have no legacy. I got pussy. We're not knocking pussy. We're simply saying other men get pussy and they have patriarchy, they have family, they have business, they have social and political power, they run their families. You mean pussy's so good until you throw everything else away. And that's a fucking lie if you say so, because men kill women and beat up women every day over small chump change, over kids. But we've made pussy a god in the black community, men. And act as if it's all that, because if it were all that, so many of us wouldn't be bi and trisexual. Oh, yes, I did. And pedophiles and other things. And if black pussy's so good, why do you fuck white women all day? And now Latinas. I'm so tired of black liar males. Damn. Let me keep going. It will be understood that the most loving thing one can do for the oppressor is to fight the oppressive situation that destroys both the oppressed and the oppressed. She's hinting that this is patriarchy. Suffering, which has been so highly esteemed in Christianity, will be seen as acceptable not when objectively submissive and endure it, but when experienced in the struggle for liberation. The ethic emerging in the struggle has its main theme not imprudence but existential courage. This is the courage to risk economic and social security for the sake of liberation. We know that black families do best when it's a man and a woman. She's saying, let the man go. Let's risk all of that to be whatever this damn freedom is. When the women get their asses beat twice or three times or four times as often with the woman than the man. But we know domestic violence is all male. That's a damn lie. But, anyway, let me go back because facts don't matter. It means not only risking loss of jobs, friends, and social approval, but also facing nameless anxieties encountered in the new and uncharted territory. She's talking about the gay lifestyle. There's anxiety of meaningless that can be overwhelming at times when the old simple meanings, role definitions, and life expectations have been rooted out and rejected openly, and a woman emerges into a world without models. So no children, no man, none of the stuff that women have been doing for thousands of years. All of a sudden, let's get rid of all that, and the woman's just going to be different. Okay. There is also the anxiety of guilt over refusing to do what society demands. In our instance, refusing to do what Black society needs to form families, to be wives, to be mothers, to be grandmothers, to be sisters. We're not going to do that no more. As the women say in our community, I ain't doing all of that. They don't explain what it is, but they're really saying is I'm not going to be the kind of women that we used to have in our group.
Well, watch
I'm
it, Doc.
the
What
bullshit.
did Kevin Samuels say? Die alone.
Now, here we go.
That's what they want to do.
There's also the anxiety of guilt over refusing to do what society demands, an anxiety that which can still hold a woman in its grip long after the guilt has been recognized as false. To affirm oneself and one's sisters in the face of all of this requires courage. Such courage expresses itself in sisterhood. Sisterhood is code for lesbianhood, ladies,
Come on.
which is not at all merely the female counterpart of the brotherhood. Exactly, not nearly the brotherhood. Huh? Sisterhood is a revolutionary fact. It is the bonding of those who have never bonded before. Bonding, fucking. Let's call it what it really is.
A witch. She's a witch pansexual. That's what she is.
Okay. Bonding. Let me go back. The bonding of those that have never bonded before, for the purpose of overcoming sexism and its effects, both internal and external. It is the coming together of those who are oppressed by sexual definition. Sexual definition meaning being feminine. So let's not be feminine together. Understand? It's not what they're saying, it's what's implied. The Christian churches have been fond of preaching the brotherhood of man, which included women incidentally as baggage. However, the concept have never been realized because brotherhood and patriarchy, despite frequent attempts and to universalize the term, is exclusive and divisive. Brother means us versus them. It begins by excluding women as the other, and it continues its divisiveness from there, cutting off the other familial, tribal, racial, national, economic, and ideological categories. Yet these same women identify as white. It's bullshit. White women, whether they're gay or not, unlike Black gays and lesbians that are gay first, these people are white first. The only people that put their religion and everything ahead of their ethnic identity are coon-ass Black people, whether they're sexuality coons, religious coons, there's some kind of coon that have no recognition of who and what God made them as. That's sort of ancillary. Well, yeah, I'm Black, but I'm Baptist, I'm Mason, I'm Greek, I'm a Democrat. That's the big shit now. Women are learning to be aware that brotherhood, even when it attempts to be brotherhood, means male universalism. The churches, the peace movement, the New Left, for the most part, fail to notice the need for change in the situation of more than 50% of the female membership of the groups to which they would extend their brotherhood. Sisterhoods of patriarchal society have really been many brotherhoods, allowing male models to serve and serving male purposes. The religious sisterhoods within the Catholic Church, for example, have been male dominated according to canon law. These communities, though they have often an alternative to marriage and attracted some gifted women, have used the word sister in an elitist and divisive sense and have supported the ideology of sexism. The sisterhood of a women's liberation involves a strategic polarization, which is different from all of this. It implies polarization for the sake of women's internal wholeness or oneness, because as in all cases of oppressed groups, women suffer from a duality of consciousness. We have internalized the image that the oppressor has of us. Again, she's talking about femininity. So it's wrong for us to think women should be feminine. Wow. And man, this is when you see all these brute looking women out here, this is now part of our culture. It must go, people. Let me keep going. Where's it? Wait, for what? Okay. Okay. It has divided us against ourselves and against each other by self-hatred. We can only overcome this by bonding with each other. Sisterhood implies polarization also for the sake of political oneness to achieve liberation. However, it is an essential dynamic is directed to overcoming the stereotypes that reduce people to the role of the other. That is, it points towards a unity deeper than most theologians are capable of envisioning. And envisaging, I'm sorry, despite a great amount of ink that has been spilled on the subject of the bonds of charity. Sisterhood is an event that is new under the sun. It is healing, revolutionary, and revelatory, which is what the Christian Brotherhood has claimed to be, but failed to be. It is a war with the idols of patriarchal religion, but it is in harmony with what is authentic in the ideas of religious traditions. In this sense, the movement in its deepest dimension is both anti-church and church. It has the potential to release the authentic values that have been distorted and suppressed by the sexism of the synagogue and church.
Drop the mic.
They want, and so abortion, all of this stuff is women's stuff. So this is why, I'm very aggressive against feminism. If you really read what they say, these are horrible people. These are monsters. And by the way, we want to remind you, we are trying to organize a movement to fight feminism in our community. They are funded by the Ford Foundation and others. How hard will it be for us to get our $15,000, $20,000? My GoFundMe has about 700, of which I think 400 or 500's been dispersed. We need more. I want y'all to bless the GoFundMe. Send what you can, and circulate it. Understand that my Facebook and other things, I get harassed online. I tried to get a Twitter premium account. I was notified that my account wasn't allowed to have a Twitter premium. And so trust me, there are people standing in, they're terrified of what some of us would do if we had. I'm giving what I can. There are plenty of people out here that can give. You can give via the GoFundMe. You can give via Cash App. You can give via Zelle. You can give via, support. And in fact, if you're helping us to do stuff like Chef C knows we had to go and talk about the thing, we had to pay folk. So we have to take Uber, do stuff. We're spending to do this out of ours, but it's not just me and Chef. We know about this shit. It's the rest of people that don't know. How are we going to get this out if we don't have the help to do it? Okay. So my GoFundMe and stuff is posted. It's everywhere. Our Patriarch Summit is all over TikTok and everywhere else. Thank you, Brother Robin. Now we have our broke graduate student, the Negro, dropping. That's the only person out of, let me see, I've got, that's 31. I've got close to 40 people watching. You mean only one person has a buck? And I'm not beefing. I'm only saying, if I were a feminist preaching against babies, man, and what, if we don't put some money on what matters, we are doomed. I'm not the only person. My thing is, you take someone like Star, you take someone like Quiet Scale, you take somebody like Brother Robin. There are people who are constantly, if you don't ask them, they just do it. It doesn't have to be a lot, but do something.
That's a fact.
I have 2,100 followers in YouTube. If on YouTube, if each one of the followers gave $5, I wouldn't have to think
done. We're fun. Done. We're ready to do the summit now. We're ready.
Right. We could just stop them, but and so I need people to move it. If you can't support it, send it to someone that can. I want to remind people, we want, if you have a business, buying our souvenir journal. We do want people to take a whole page, but we're going to publish the names of everybody. Once we get this thing moving, we're going to ask that people, if you give, let us know that you want to be. We're going to tell you what your status is, and we're going to publish the name. We are going to have Brother Roland publish. I'm going to be writing. There's going to be both stuff with pictures, so forth. We really want to do that.
Doc, let me say something.
Yes, sir.
So, and I meant to cut you off because it's time for the people to stop being spectators.
Right.
Facts.
This is we too late in the game for being spectators. You're acting like your mother and your father, your grandmothers and your grandfathers who betrayed the culture. We're doing this because the betrayal of the culture. Okay? Stop being spectators and be participators. You sit up here every week and you listen to us speak facts, give you information that you know is right, and you go back to your whiny, no confidence selves. That's why, man, I take to heart when Peter said, save yourself from these Negroes.
Facts.
This backward generation, because you're acting like the very people we've been talking about. Look here, I am not going to beg you for nothing, especially when you know we're speaking the truth. We ain't showing ass and we ain't showing breasts and we ain't showing coochie. And we ain't showing no foolishness. And if you can sit here for 2 or 3 hours and listen to us, give you the facts and the stats, and you still hesitant, off with your head too. I'll step over your carcass.
And speaking of that, I haven't eaten today. I had 2 bags of chips. I need to eat something. And so I've been running, and I mean, I went to see the doctor. For me, I'm glad I did that. But from there, I went into a meeting to talk with the person that created the Platinum Plan for Trump, to talk about what Black folks need to have. So the conversation I had today is going to go directly to the front runner for president. Believe it or not,
they don't know. They don't.
No, but I'm telling people, even though, and I'm not exaggerating.
I know you're not exaggerating. I know you're not.
I'm saying that
have gotten so used to you, Doc.
No, it's not so used. I don't. Everything doesn't look the same.
Right.
Everybody doesn't. I don't run around and say I did this, I did that. That's. I don't know. God gets the glory. It isn't about me.
Well, let me say this, Doc. My lot is not going to be like an Amos Wilson who died broke, who begged and pleaded for them to support them. And one of the most gifted, the smartest minds that this country ever birthed, Amos Wilson.
Right. Well, we're not going to be broke. We're going to be working with businesses and other things, but this is the thing I want people to understand. And this is what our folks have to understand. There are people that will pour money on the Patriarch Summit that aren't even Black. But it will make people look foolish that people who may even be racist would give faster than Black folks who consider themselves decent people.
So
that's the sad part. That's the truth.
So the scriptures say where the heart is, there is the treasury. You mean that means we hate ourselves and how we use our money. Okay, you hate self, and so this is an example. So it's not like if we were throwing a big booty party,
Oh man.
We would have beer, bring it, there'd be no problem. And so, I mean, I'm clear that we're gonna get what we're supposed to have. But here's the thing that I love about this. The less people participate or the less that people do grassroots to help it come, the more exclusive it will be once we establish it. Like Chef C wants to charge guy $100, $200 a place, and that's just no chef. We don't do that much. Even though we put together, that's what people charge for such conferences, and even more if you bring things together.
Watch this. Just on the information I'm gonna get them in guns, I could charge them $100 a piece. Just on the gun information you're gonna get.
I understand. Look, maybe we'll push it up 100 because of the thing. But what happens when we succeed? This won't be come as you are type thing. We're not running a Christian mission. People that come here are going to have to come with resources and a mind to work. And it's no begging. We're doing it.
Your mic went low. We boot you.
Doctor. They messing with you, doctor.
He'll be right back up. He'll be
right back. On that.
Hold on. Salute first and foremost. I gotta play catch up. A few people came in the chat. Apologize to Fanny that's been here with us. But I'm gonna bring Brother Short up real quick. Let me see, Brother Short. Are you back, sir? Are you live?
I hope so.
Yes, sir. You are.
What I said is very simple. Once we get our critical working group, and we will have them, takers, in fact, let's just talk about this real fast. Black American people give to everybody but each other, or we give to takers. We don't give to givers. And so takers, if someone says, oh, he's always asking, well, actually, what I just told you, I met with the lead policy person for Black Americans for Donald Trump. Some things he hadn't thought about asking Trump for, like a minimum wage for Blacks that are incarcerated in prison, which the president can do in federal prisons. It's a whole lot of folks that may get some money. It wasn't about me getting anything. They don't think about those people. To do what one can do. So it's okay if people don't want to understand, because I operate out of the Noah's Ark mindset. There's a point where the ark will be open, and there'll come a point where the doors of the ark shut. If you're on the outside of the doors when it shuts, it won't be open for you. We Black folks as a collective lack a sense of urgency. That's one of the things I hated about teaching. I was at Lane College and even at Bowie. You have people show up to register. They come to class the 5th week after class started. This shit never happened at any credible white school, that you could come and miss 4 or 5 weeks of class and expect to get a passing grade. Unthought of. Even at Howard, you couldn't miss so many and pass the course. No, you couldn't. But for these sorry HBCUs where I worked, they made it such that people not understand the urgency. Your ass should be in class the first day on the front row so the teacher knows you. In case the teacher didn't have enough syllabi, you got one of them. So they're taught they can come the 8th week of class and expect a passing grade. These low standards are a way to kill us off. Do you have low standards? So the ark's door shut and only 8 people out of maybe 1 billion survived. We're going to get our group. It's going to form.
Hot type of story right there. The carcasses.
Chef and I, we talk about going over to Rumble and the other places, and this stuff will be something where you pay every time you see it.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you get more when you charge people every time than when you give it to them. I remember when I would go to Ultimatics' thing, and I would take videos, and I would charge people. But I remember one time that people came over. It was 2 black women, of course, and they're gonna just grab everything off the table. It says, those costs. When they found out there was any cost associated with it, they put it all back. They didn't mind taking it if it was free, but they didn't want it if it cost them anything. That kind of mindset, as people say to me all the time, you give too much away, you give too much away. The window on that's closing. The window will close. And then all of a sudden it won't be. So not
and you know what? Hold on, Brother Short. I'm gonna say this. Listen, when Brother Dr. Short says a chef wanted me to charge this, you damn right. You damn right, because I know what it's costing already. We're already spending money. It's already money out of pocket happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you goddamn right. And the value that we're about to give you and for the cost of admission, ladies and gentlemen, let me be very clear. And I'm not just saying this. You're getting thousands of dollars worth of knowledge, material, etc. And for a little freaking price of admission.
Facts.
Forget all of that. You man, goddamn, you ain't gonna tell me nothing.
Oh,
I know what we're about to. This shit is y'all not understanding what's being put together here. This is no celebratory cookout and all this sit around and clap your hands and do the motherfucking electric slide shit going on here. This is not that.
Right. Well, that's for the people that want it. I want to do a shout out to Brother Battle, my cousin Battle. These are niggas that are ass kicking black folk from North Carolina, from Perkins County, North Carolina, and then all around about. We're gonna be okay, but I need to eat, Chef. See, I haven't eaten all day. Other than
Sir, I'm definitely ready to conclude, but nonetheless, I just want to reiterate that, ladies and gentlemen, when I tell you, okay, we give you nigga shit with real shit, and we plan to deliver nothing but value on this August 24th, ladies and gentlemen, more than what you are paying for. We believe in going above and beyond. Okay,
we're the Kamala Harris of black consciousness.
I knew you couldn't wait to get that fucking one out.
Now y'all understand. We're gonna go way down and touch you.
Pause. Yeah.
Pause.
Yo, hey, can I comment on this whole situation? I find it very messed up, community, that you guys will back people who you know that's a failure in our community, who's a proven track record of being a failure in our community. You know who these people are. I'm not going to put names and jackets on them.
Sharpton.
You know, we can even get to the intellectuals too. We got them too, saying that they're going to
West.
They say they're going to deliver schools and they don't. You know that goofy stuff.
Yeah.
Right now, what we're trying to talk about here is actually build a cohesiveness for men by men. It needs to be made for our community because it's been neglected for so long. It was neglected by white folks, neglected by other black people in our community. It's time for us as a community, black men, and people who support black men and understand the importance of having black men in leadership.
Shout out
black
to
men
us.
being the tools that is needed for our survival so that we can make it over to the next day. Because we will get what's owed. We will get what's owed. But we need a strong, solid brothers. All in one band, one mind, one band, one sound on these issues and things. We really need this, fam. We really do.
And We're not, it's not just the brothers. Once we get the brothers together, let me just contrast this.
Right.
We have a lot of black women first politicians everywhere as mayors. They're fuck ups for the most part, almost all. When I'll tell you something, when the black men were elected to office, they tend to look out for everybody.
Mm.
When black women get elected, I'm sorry, they look out for themselves. There's a selfishness, a narcissism in your black pork chop feminist Democrat politicians. The men aren't much better, but the women by far are the worst. I mean, you see it everywhere. DC is the best example. And not just, I mean, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, the one that started Cop City in Atlanta, you keep seeing them over and over again. And
Keisha Bottoms.
yeah, nobody wants to talk about it. When men get empowered, and I need to remind all of the black women who are feminists out there listening, throughout the South, it wasn't until black men got elected, until black men were able to get into the Southern legislatures, that women got property rights, all of the rights that women have, where black people live in numbers until, except for in the North. It's because black men, after fighting in the Civil War, fought for women to be included. It wasn't white men. The basis of women's rights in this country, black women's rights, comes from black patriarchy. And so, you know, I don't give a damn about what any black feminist says. In fact, I deliberately communicate in such a dismissive way because that's the only thing that they're going to understand is being driven out of their off-code square. And so if it comes across as harsh or rude, it's meant to be. There's no nice way to tell someone you're out of order, you're destroying the community.
Right.
So the more aggressively we do it, in fact, we want this to be contagious. Look at the freedom by which I dog pork chop feminists. All of you men out there need to start copying this, not towards your wazies. What I'm saying is once these men get empowered, we're going to work with our sister stars.
That's a
our
fact.
sister Eve. That's we're already working it.
That's a fact.
Shep, we've already picking women that we want to help empower across the country. When the women have stuff, they don't think about empowering men. They make programs and they don't even help all women. It's women have failed in political leadership, almost all. You'll almost never see a woman get power and come up with a public policy program that lifts up a large mass of people. It tends to be very limited. Like Me Too is only helping a certain number. The women that get raped in the army and the women that get raped in prison and the women that get raped in schools, Me Too hasn't said a goddamn thing about it.
Silent.
And that's how you women operate. It's very personal. Women tend to deal with stuff in a very narrow frame. I'm just calling it what it is. Men tend to deal more broadly. Women are meant that narrow is to take care of the family. But what's happened is they don't take care of the family anymore. And when they get to a position of power, they still are operating narrowly. Brooke, it may hurt your feelings. Show me a woman that gets elected that has a mass program for people. It doesn't exist. It has to hurt women's feelings, but we men's feelings get hurt all the time. Hearing we're not shit, we don't do this. We've got to put women everywhere because all black men have failed. You know, I've been listening to this for about 50 years. And watch this as, you know, I don't see the women doing any better. In fact, I see them doing worse than the men who were flawed. No, the good women did get chosen. The women that were righteous got chosen when you had a movement among men. When black men were doing what they were supposed to do, there were black women that they got behind. Black men got behind Fannie Lou Hamer. The righteous black women got helped when black men were being empowered. When black men got kicked out, then this slut hole icon of woman got into the position. As much as I don't like a lot of stuff about Shirley Chisholm, as quietly as it's kept, as much as she lied, black men supported Shirley Chisholm. White men didn't, and white women didn't. Shirley Chisholm's husband was her main supporter, and she was screwing another man behind his back. Fact, and she's a tenant. So I I don't care. The truth will hurt. The truth hurts. I'm trying to think of any place where they put in an elected Black woman leader that's looked out for the people. I don't know of one. I can name Black male leaders that are flawed, but they've looked out for a great number. They can do Harold Washington, Marion Barry, you could do Gibson, you could do Sharp James, you could do Coleman Young, you could do Harold Washington. I mean, you could do Maynard Jackson. You can't roll off that with Black women in elected office. You just can't. You can talk about, at least when there's some kind of movement in Congress around some Black rights, you could name some of the more outspoken persons, maybe Cynthia McKinney being the only person. But that's in like 60 years, you can like name one. And I can name several men, but men are less than women, and men need to be replaced by women because women are more sensitive. When you start looking at it, somebody's lying, and some of those people lying.
Come on.
Some of the people lying are feminists. Show me where the movement against mass incarceration of Black men. If I were to contrast, in fact, let's do something that our sisters don't do. If we were to compare our sisters to Palestinian women, you wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to compare our sisters these days to women anywhere else, because you would be in pain. Even when you were having your protest, Sister Brooke, who fought you? Was it men or was it women? When the communities tried to confront DeSantis about the white supremacists executing people in the Dollar General, who was the person that told the community to shut up? Was it a man or was it a woman? Who was the person that let all the Black folks get killed when Obama was president? Wasn't it what's that woman, the one that looked like a pineapple? You know what I'm talking about. Looked like a pineapple with the wig on. Loretta Lynch. And so all of this stuff happens. I'm not saying you don't have coons that are men. But it's interesting, when a man is a coon, Clarence Thomas, he catches hell. And he should. When a woman gets in position and she fucks over Black people, we celebrate the fact that it's a woman in a position. Oh, she's a woman, she's going to care. It's a goddamn lie. She's not going to care, and she doesn't care. When they wanted to put in a Black woman in Harvard, what was the step for her to become president? She was firing all the Black American men who were loved on the campus.
Come on.
They bring the Black women in to get rid of Black men. When they wanted to drive Black men out of formal employment, they put Black women in human resources. When they wanted to put Black men in jail, they started getting Black women prosecutors. I mean, the truth is the light. We are going to have a Day of Atonement for pork chop feminism, where women are going to apologize for killing babies and for that. It's not all of you, but the ones that are dirty. When the Million Man March happened, for all of its flaws, they were called on to be better persons. When the women had their march, they just celebrated being Black women. Everything is wonderful. See the lack of accountability, see the dishonesty, the lack of transparency, the audacity to come with an opaque program meaning nothing. I'm not against 2 million women gathering, but you know what? There wasn't even an afterglow to the Million Woman March because it didn't mean anything. Basically, the men had a march. We'll have a march. Their march didn't fulfill what it could have, and our march is not going to even do shit. But you know what? We outnumbered them 2-1. This one-upsmanship, this company, black men don't compete with black women like that. No, they don't. If we saw a man competing with a woman doing the right thing, people would start questioning sexuality. When
That's
a
a
woman
fact.
acts out of her role, we don't say anything, even when a woman's acting masculine. She can have a beard bigger than Abraham Lincoln.
I'm not
And
competing with no women. Crazy.
no,
It's not labeled as a mental disorder or something what it should be, because the woman
it
might
is.
not
It
have the
is.
right.
It is a mental disorder. Well, we know that we don't say anybody's good, Sister Brooke. We're saying that women have great gifts. What the feminist movement has done is subverted women's gifts,
Hijack it.
and and
Hijack.
and 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 we're all suffering. Okay, and the women, they've got the women trying to be men, and now men who see all the opportunities that women have said, "Hell, I'd rather be a woman. Shit's easier. The line is shorter." And this is going to come to haunt women. It is. And all these men in the women's restroom and women's sports, pretty soon they're going to be in the WNBA.
Mm.
And but this is a woman's movement. It is not a men's movement. This is self-inflicted sexual suicide that women are committing.
There you go.
It
Come
is.
on.
It isn't men. And when men try to tell women, we get told we hate women for saying, be yourself. You don't accept me. Let me cut off my titties. Let me look more. Now you'll accept. And we will get it. We never said that people cut their breast off. We're not telling women to take testosterone so they'll grow beards and look like Geico cavemen. We're not doing this. Isn't men. This is all from women. So, the truth hurts, but the Bible says faithful are the wounds of a friend. Translation, the truth of someone that cares hurts, but it's more faithful for me to tell you the truth than to lie to you. I'm tired of men lying for pussy. Seems like you could tell the truth and get it too. I need to eat. It's almost 11:30. I gotta go, folks.
Excellent.
Okay.
Brother Short, I'll be chatting with you tomorrow. Brother Negro, let him know how to get a hold of you. First and foremost, salute the Brother Negro for hitting the cash.
Yeah, God bless Brother Negro.
Down here,
Oh, Sister Brooke, before you go, Sister Brooke, you got the name. Who was the MC for the reparations rally? Chef C needs to know the name, Sister Brooke. She works with Tariq. Forgive me, I don't know everybody's name. The woman that was doing the MC for Tariq's rally. Is it ZZ? Forgive me for not remembering everybody's name. I don't want to get it wrong. Okay, it's Lalia Lopez. Chef C.
Lalia Lopez.
Lalia
Lopez.
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 Lopez. Wait.
Don't blame me. I'm only telling you what Sister Brooke is telling me. Don't talk to me like
I hope
only
you're not throwing no Lopez on my girl Vicky Dillard now. I might have to throw on the gloves.
Listen, hey, listen. Okay, never mind. I got the name now. I know what. Yeah, but anyhow,
Lila Lopez.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna keep on moving, Brother Negro. Let them know how they can get a hold of you, sir. What you got shaking coming down the pipe.
Yes. You can find us always on Twitter. We're in X, and also we're in Delaware. We're gonna be setting up HQ in Delaware now.
Yes, sir.
So yes. It's, also we'll be at the PAT Summit, Patriarchy Summit. We'll be talking about God and civics and how to incorporate into our business to live upright and do some better things for our community. And have some good projects. So I'm very, very excited about that. And I'm also very excited about this Patriarchy Summit, family. It's something that's much needed. I like it was like the time where we used to have the brothers brunches and stuff and brothers met, but now we can actually get down to do some more business. I like that. More business and moving forward as a people. But you can always find us on X and the Negro Black Knights Heritage Club on X. You can also find us on all the black media outlets as well. So like and share, subscribe, and make sure you hit the Cash App for the Patriarchy Summit. We need to be. This is something that matters. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what they say in Texas. Like I've been down there where they swinging and banging. They say,
And
put
that's
your
the
money where
only
your mouth
place that
is.
you need to put money. Don't be like Kamala.
Salute to the brother Negro. Brother Juan J. Johnson, sir. Let them know what you got shaking, what's coming down the pipeline, how they get a hold of you, sir. Juan J. Johnson.
Always guns, always training, and always trying to leave you something that you can use for your daily life. Go to Juan J. Johnson on Facebook. Go to Juan J. Johnson on social media, social X or Twitter. Go to Along with Farms Training on YouTube. And you can catch me on these Patriarch stations on your neck. Again, I will be 8/24/24 in rare form at the Patriarch Summit. Looking forward to seeing you there. Look, family, we have to reimagine this. We're reimagining what the Patriarch looks like. When you're in a system of racism, white supremacy, and you're being dominated, you need these type of summits to take place. So I'm looking forward to it. Salute to Chef C, the Negro, Twiz, Dr. Short, and all those who are trying to reimagine our Black community. We may not be getting the traction with these social media platforms because we're real, but eventually we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. I believe that we're gonna get it. Again, I salute all those who tuned into my station. I see Landlord Life with Carissa Spans in the house, if she's still there. I see Deceptively Unique, the Commander. So it's quite a few, but hey, it's not about how many, it's the quality of the folks who's tuned in. Again, make the donations or the donations. Stop being on the sideline, get in the game. It's war. It's war, family.
Juan J. Johnson, Lone Wolf Firearms, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. Brother Dr. Short, sir, any last words from you, sir, coming down the pipeline?
I want people to follow me that can on Twitter. My Twitter account, the main one I'm using now, is DRS1 C Buster. DRS1 C Buster. Check me out there. And on top of that, please remember, donate, do what you can. You can always bless us through Zelle or PayPal at wrandyshort@gmail.com as well. You may write me. I do write people back. And of course, the Cash App is $ Dr. Randy Short. Do prayers. We want to remind people I'm going to be doing other things. We're going to go back to doing sermons. I think this week I took a 2-week break. You will hear some spiritual words on Sabbath. Also, I want people to be aware. Please be on the lookout and keep prayers going for me to do more writing for major news platforms. My radicalism may be toned down, but trust me, I'm always going to talk about the old MFM. We need our MFM, and we're going to keep pushing for that. I want to encourage everybody to share the content. Share, like, move this around. Understand that we were reaching about 5,000 or 6,000 people per broadcast, and they've reduced it down to about 700.
Right.
They absolutely didn't like what we were doing. They locked almost all my videos. So the only time that people watch my videos, they shadow ban it so heavily, is when I'm live. The minute I stop going live, it's as if people don't watch the videos. It's not true. So when you look for stuff, understand you're not allowed to see me. I'm not doing anything. We're going to change that. So I put up my Twitter, DRS1C Buster. Of course, if you want to bless, we have the GoFundMe, the Patriarch Summit. We've got Cash App, $ Dr. Randy Short. And through Zelle or PayPal, you can send at wrandyshort@gmail.com. If you have guests, people that you think should come, if you want to write an article, if you know a business that would like to place an ad, if you have an essay, we're working on a website, so we need another $300-400 for the website. We want to be able to show your videos. We're looking for writers, we're looking for artists, we're looking for all of that. If you know somebody that's willing to work with us, send an example. Don't tell us how good you are. It's not like I'm a lady looking at a man. I'm a person trying to find out who has the talent. Demonstrate what you have. Don't boast me how good you're in bed. Just send me evidence of your work that's yours, and maybe we can work with you. A lot of good things are happening. Let people know that have businesses, they want to be there. We're going to be encouraging people. In fact, Sister Brooke, why not bring or send some samples down? People who have businesses, we're about business. If we don't make, then we have to consume what other people make. So that's where our head is. MFM, God bless you. Who you going to call? Coon Buster. We will be free. Let me stop here. Good night, everybody.
Most definitely, ladies and gentlemen, Brother Dr. Randy Short. Salute to Brother Dr. Randy Short, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say my piece. Now, we're looking at a situation here where the lack of patriarchy has an origin story. And without knowing the lack or the absence of it, you can't pinpoint why these things are happening. But now we find out that there's a witch. We find that there is a witch who may have cursed us.
The big bad butch.
On his way out.
The big bad butch.
And ladies, when you start to discuss and look at the absence of what makes you a true feminine or a true patriarch, you got to understand that these are moving parts that are way beyond what you can fathom in the day-to-day. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, support the movement, Patriarch Summit. We look forward to seeing all of you. QR codes are right there on the screen. Y'all scan them. Support us as we are moving forward. We're going to move forward with this thing, and we can only get it done with your support, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for joining us here today on their next podcast for Pat Talk number 29, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, in a system of white degeneracy, you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. My name is Chef C, and I'm out. Catch you on the flip side.